I have some messages up on screen of Phibz saying some very disturbing and concerning things regarding SH in her Discord server, which, by the way, had minors in there. I hope you guys see why I don't think Phibz is innocent.
Nobody's saying that she's innocent. We're talking about being a predator. We haven't seen anything predator related.
I think Phibz did things that were inappropriate and dangerous.
So she says inappropriate things in DMs with a minor, but she's not a pedophile?
Oh, well, this was inappropriate. So then they're a groomer? We don't even understand what the word inappropriate means.
My videos were about her actions and not just revolving around that specific word, as you said.
Your last video on Phibz, it says pedo exposed.
Yeah, that's the thumbnail.
I don't even understand this argument. This is insane. Yeah, I lie in my thumbnails for attention, but that's just a thumbnail. You shouldn't take anything that I say as fact.
If someone says they don't think Phibz is a file, that's them defending her.
No, I think they have a different point of view, and I get that.
Yeah, I think she's a pedophile, threat to children. She wants to rape kids. But if you disagree with me, it's just a different point of view.
I don't know about you guys, but I definitely won that debate.
I definitely won that debate. That's how I know that you're like deeply unserious. All right, guys, let's have a little fun. So we looked into the Phibz situation the other day. We watched JiDion's video, the interview with Phibz. It was actually really good, very mature conversation. I appreciate the way that JiDion talked to her. It's cool stuff. Came to the conclusion that there's some inappropriate behavior from a 19-year-old with autism that is, you know, doing their best, but there's no predatory intention there. And a lot of the allegations were even sensationalized. JiDion read through the messages. There was no attempt to try to groom or like, you know, inappropriately like sexually interact with like a child, and it doesn't matter. Like it's one of those things where like there's a lot of Lolcows online with disabilities, and sometimes they take a little bit longer to understand. It is what it is. But this person, Bludspeth, apparently they referenced me in this video too, but I think they mostly, somebody said that. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck am I? But I think it's more about JiDion and Dankyjabo, and they have like a little conversation, which I'm curious about, where they double down. Here's my thing. This is something that I'm gonna let you guys know. When I see a page like this, I instantly lose respect for you. When I see a page that probably should be banned from YouTube, that's exclusively obsessed with lolcows with some kind of fucking disability, I tune out. Oh, look at this. I mean, like, this is fine. The fucking catastrophe video is fine, but it's all like fucking lolcows with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and one trans one, and it's pretty much just all. Yeah, it's like this is boring. The fucking Lolcow harassment network that exists to basically harass Lolcows with disabilities and then make them do like worse and worse shit and then go, hey, you're bad. It's just boring. I think these channels don't even border on harassment. They are harassment. I think that all the channels like I think it's fine to talk about these people. I don't think it's fine to have entire pages devoted to these people. And I think the channels like this should be taken off of YouTube, to be absolutely honest with you. That's just my opinion. They're obviously just harassment networks of a bunch of little kids that probably have slightly higher functioning autism, bullying people with fucking autism. So yeah, let's check out his video, and then we'll check out the conversation, and we'll see what we got here. It's called Phibz is Not Innocent.
Is Phibz innocent or not? That's a question that a lot of people have been asking recently.
Who are people? Like 12-year-olds?
And with some developments,
This is fucking crazy. Phibz is a legend, guys. Come on.
a lot of people have been saying that she is in fact innocent.
Cool.
So I took it upon myself to not only go back and look at everything, but I obtained new information from a group chat that Phibz was in with multiple other minors.
And how old were they, and how old were the minors, and what kind of conversations were they having? Was this just like being stupid online, or is this like some kind of predatory behavior?
It is shocking to say the least.
Well, probably not, but you know, maybe I'm wrong.
And FYI, these new screenshots have not been seen in public before, so if anyone hasn't taken them into account, please know it's not their fault. This literally just came out. This started when I got in contact with the 14-year-old Phibz was talking to, and I wanted to get some information from them to kind of get the facts straight. They mentioned they knew someone who's still in the group chat, and I asked if they could add them as well as me into there, and they did. Phibz,
The 13-year-old they were talking to? What does that mean? That they're a 13-year-old that happened to be in a group chat with them at some point? Okay. Gotcha. Apparently this is the one that we're talking about. This poo boy. I'm not watching this one because it's not relevant. Because there's conversation is between this person, but I'll watch a little bit of my mentions in the comments here. Let's see what we got.
She really is. From what I've seen, it feels like JiDion, and this guy we'll get into a minute, Papa Gut, believe that she is barely cognitive. Like, maybe
nobody said that whatsoever. You're a fucking moron. Instantaneously, like there's no reason to listen to you. Nobody thinks they're barely cognitive.
an inch away from being non-verbal levels of autism. Which
Nope, nobody thinks that. You're just being fucking stupid. You have no idea what you're talking about. Got it. Nobody thinks they're barely cognitive. People understand different developmental cycles. When you get older, you understand that it takes people longer to understand things, and they have different socially awkward interactions with people. If you like, you not being able to comprehend that is like, that's cool for you. Cool. What else do we got here?
Announce his political beliefs. Okay, might sound like is not me making a statement trying to align my gut, and let it be known up on how much the self-harm allegation gets sideswiped. I already mentioned Papa Gut, and let it be known this guy makes political content like 50% of the time.
Sometimes I usually do drama slop, but all right.
And I haven't even watched it. The things I say about this guy and how I disagree with his way of research is not me making a statement trying to align myself or denounce
I don't care. Go ahead.
His political beliefs, okay? Might sound like an odd thing to say if you don't know him, but that's what a lot of people know him for, so I just don't want to confuse anyone. But
I don't think people really know me for political takes. I think that most people just know me for like online slop, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't like Papa Gut so far. I
don't care.
Say so far because it'd be pretty hypocritical seeing as what I'm about to say, but I've only seen 3 of his videos. And from these videos I've seen, I dislike the guy. But I'm not bringing him up just a single amount. The reason I mention Papa Gut at all is because of the way that he forms his opinions and comments on a topic is by looking up a controversy on YouTube and then watching the first video that pops up. He posted a video about Leaping Lemur. It's important to note that Papa Gut makes reaction videos, so he reacted to one made on Lemur by a YouTuber called Major Chilla. I have an entire Leaping Lemur video on my own channel if you want to watch that.
Oh yeah, it was like a huge nothing burger, like forced sexual assault thing. Like they're trying to make it seem like there's some kind of sexual assault going on when there wasn't. Oh my god, dude! Like what is so funny is like, oh, this guy's a leftist. But then, like, he watched this video about somebody making, like, some kind of a false allegation about somebody, and then he was like, this is a false allegation. That would be a more conservative talking point. I just find that, like, ironic. Right? Okay, got it. We don't like me from the Leaping Lemur shit. What else do we have here? Anything of use?
Because of this,
we're just going on about this fucking chinchilla bullshit. It was, yeah, it's all chronically online, like Lolcow shit. Blah, 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 blah. Got it. All right.
Ridiculous.
Got it. Okay, this is like, no, there's no actual anything in here that matters.
Onto Dankyjabo and
got it. Okay, I don't care. All right, let's move on from that. Let's go back to the actual video in question.
Phibz was the only adult in that group chat.
Whoa, the 18-year-old adult.
There were multiple other members, and none of them were above 18 besides Phibz. In there, I saw many concerning messages. In fact, I actually saw some that honestly make her look worse than before. And when you take into context her previous controversies, it looks really, really bad, but don't worry, I'll be explaining everything soon. I have some messages up on screen of Phibz saying some very disturbing and concerning things regarding SH, also
self-harm,
known as self-harm.
Oh, that's not good.
In her Discord server, which, by the way, had minors in there, and she was at youngest 18.
Okay.
For those who can't read, she's basically talking.
No, we're not basically talking. We're going to read this. Why are you basically
talking about one?
Oh, she basically farts in her pants. No, we're going to read through them and see how fucking horrible these are. Pretty sure they apologized for this already. We already knew about this stuff.
I have some messages.
I want someone to carve their name into me to prove that I'm theirs. Literally, will your BF not do that for you? No, he did. Proof this was real. Okay, good. Yeah, that's definitely inappropriate. It doesn't sound like they're telling other people to do it. It sounds like they want a partner that'll do that because they're a weird, edgy little online freak. I probably shouldn't say freak, but got it. Not appropriate. I don't think that this is predatory. Fuck, this is real, I fear. I swear to God, I just want somebody to tell me that they love me while they cut me. Okay, so somebody else is in the group chat saying some dumb, edgy emo shit. They're like, I want that too. They're romanticizing self-harm. That's definitely inappropriate. Okay, they're not a pedophile. This is inappropriate. I don't think that they're trying to predatorize people or trying to get young people to actually do that for them. It sounds like they want a partner to do that with because they're very terminally online.
Concerning things regarding SH, also known as self-harm, in her Discord.
Let's see what else we got here. Like, are you sad or not? Decide, ho. My head hurts so fucking bad. My tummy is a word. I hate being nauseous. I think they're trying to say imploding. Haha, they want to say they want to slit their wrist so bad. Real. It's not fair. It's okay. We got this win. We must resist. All right. Yeah, inappropriate. They're glorifying this stuff. They think that they're funny and cool and edgy. Talking about self-harm. Definitely inappropriate. All right. What is this? What did we get out of here? This kind of freakish behavior, yeah, I guess, kinda, yeah. This isn't really predatory behavior. It's inappropriate. They shouldn't be talking like this, even if they're trying to be cool and dark and edgy and mysterious. But okay.
She was at youngest 18.
All right, cool, man. Oh, Jesus, man, you didn't have to give me $100, brother. Thank you, Danky, though. I hope you enjoy. You didn't enjoy the conversation? Well, you know, these Lolcow networks are super, super educational, so I don't know why you wouldn't enjoy all of the accounts obsessively focused on lolcows with intellectual developmental disabilities and sensationalizing the terrible things that they do that are inappropriate and need adult supervision at most, which I think we got after the JiDion conversation was solid. The JiDion conversation with Phibz, I think, was solid. It seems like Phibz has kind of understood stuff and moved on. So... but thank you again. That's fucking crazy, brother. I think one of the things that we're gonna see here, though, and I'm sure that you know this, Dankyjabo, is that this community is very isolated and insulated, and they don't get much pushback, and people don't actually talk to them. So you and JiDion talking to people in this community, I think is gonna start to make them realize how fucking insane some of them are. Because that's what it is, man. They're so online. Most people stay out of this circle, but we've seen like so many people get like relentlessly harassed into doing worse and worse things and worse behavior, and it makes it so that like channels like this become part of the problem when they encourage the bad behavior. You know, it's like, oh yeah, somebody that's not like a Josh Block, great example, young man with autism. People online like hit him so hard he started drinking. They were like, oh, this is so cool. He started throwing up and like eating it out of his drink and stuff. It's disgusting. And like now it's just sad. And you have kick streamers that are like attaching themselves to the hip with this guy just to exploit him for views. So it's fucking ridiculous, but let's continue with this video. Thank you again.
For those who can't read, she's basically talking about wanting to do something to her wrists and wanting someone to carve their name into it. It's really bad and disturbing.
Yeah, do you have to say the whole context? Clearly they're talking about how they want to find a person to do that because they have some cringe romanticizing of that behavior. Like, oh my god, I want to have like a toxic love. Like, it's kid shit. It's not appropriate, but it's kid shit.
And the only reason I'm showing you again is to kind of bring context to these next few screenshots, which I just took, which...
If you can't, listen, no offense, if you can't read the screenshots out loud, even if you censor the language, that's like immature to me. Like, you've already inaccurately displayed it. And it's totally possible... it's totally possible that like you don't understand that because you're very young and you don't. I look at the behavior and I think most people my age are like, oh, I understand what's happening. You have like a young kid that's like edgy emo, like they think that they're being cool. If Phibz didn't have autism and said that, I still would be saying the same thing. I'd be like, oh, this is like inappropriate messages, but clearly they're like romanticizing toxic relationships. They shouldn't be saying in a Discord full of people because they might get the wrong idea. But you either you understand that and you decide not to display it, or you don't understand that and you're kind of just going off without like the understanding of any of these what's going on here.
When you take into account her previous statements are really, really bad, in my opinion. These two screenshots I'm going to show you first are in regards to the minor talking about SH. In the first one, they talk about...
Oh, low-key blank myself in my Virgil hoodie because I need to feel that connection. We showed this one already, right? I think they're saying cut themselves. Again, not good.
Doing it in character, to which Phibz responds with ooh with a bunch of O's. In the second one, the minor's talking about rubbing a substance in...
I don't blame you, but I got addicted when I was like 10, and in 6th grade I did crazy shit with weed. How do we know how old this person is? Well, weed is different. It was like my first ever hardcore drug, and it's different when you rub it into your cuts at the ripe age of 12. So this person obviously isn't 12 now. They were referring to when they were 12, they would rub a weed into their cuts. Which I doubt is true, but hopefully not true. But like, what is... Like, this is just like this is like sensationalizing and romanticizing weird toxic behavior. You know, like
into their SH marks, if you know what I mean. And
yes.
Again, Phibz responds with ooh.
Ooh.
By the way,
wow.
They were talking about doing this at the age of, I don't even know if I could say it, it's so young, but...
Oh my god, 12! Oh! Fuck 12, am I right? That's the way I look at it. What are we talking about? You can say the word 12.
12. This minor was talking about...
Holy fuck, dude.
Doing that when they were 12. And you respond with ooh. By the way, They were talking about that at 3 a.m. Here's another...
Whoa! Oh my god, going to Arby's at 3 a.m. and licking Sonic's feet? What the fuck? What does that mean? By the way, this young person was up at 12. They were up at 3 in the morning when they were 12, and they were... or no, excuse me, when they were 12, they said that they rubbed weed into their cuts, which I don't even think is true. And they said it at 3 in the morning on Discord. This guy probably wakes up at fucking 5 in the afternoon and plays video games all day. And then goes to sleep at like 9 in the morning. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? What? What the fuck?
A screenshot from their DMs where Phibz, after the conversation ended, sends a bunch of unsolicited and quite frankly, very weird selfies to
You're fine.
the minor.
How old is this minor? How old is this minor? How old is Phibz here? I don't understand. What does it mean? They're anime posting in a Teddy Fresh, by the way. Cancel Teddy Fresh. Am I right, guys? I'm surprised that they haven't gotten Ethan Klein for Phibz wearing a Teddy Fresh. I'm pretty sure this is a Teddy Fresh. I'm pretty sure that's the Teddy Fresh logo. It's time to get rid of them. Maybe it's the James Charles one. Then we know we have problems. At
11.
You're fine. Here's some post. Is all good. This is both in character and out of character. Yeah, just tired. Long day. Okay, cringe posting. Got it. Love this anime one. Oh, that's fucking. This is cool for these people. They think that this is fun. This is like just, I mean, I don't know if they're hitting on this person. To be honest with you, I think that it's supposed to be like cool anime poses. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know the age of either of them. Does Phibz fucking, flap her labia? Like, what are we looking at here? I need more information. Also, what comes before this? Why are we cutting that off?
Now, I know there are a few parents who watch my videos, so I'm going to ask you guys a question.
No parents watch your videos. Please stop. Please stop saying that. That's not true.
And if you don't have kids, just try and imagine a young person in your life, maybe a niece or nephew or sibling or whatever. Imagine if a grown adult
I'm thinking about them. Fucking assholes.
woman, almost 20 years old, was
it's a 19-year-old, not a grown woman,
sending unsolicited selfies that look like this, by the way, to your kids or nephew or whoever's messages at night.
I don't know how to answer this question because I just don't care. This looks like a fucking cringe theater nerd. I don't know the context. You won't show us. Were they hitting on them? How old is the minor? You keep saying minor. I don't know how old this minor is. Are they 17? How old is the minor?
How would that make you feel? Or how about your kid talking about their very disturbing experiences with substances and SH with this adult who, by the way, they've known for 3 days at this point? And
wow, incredible.
Why is it that a concerning amount of these conversations are happening at night? Those selfies were sent at 11 p.m. and the SH and substance convo happened at 3 a.m.
Oh, fuck. Dude, if it was actually at 2 a.m., we'd be good. We would be good. To be honest, brother, you've seen all the context you need. The rest of the video is just going to be irrelevant. I got to finish it out just for the context. You know what I mean? Just to be accurate.
What business does a 19-year-old woman have talking about these sorts of things with a 14-year-old at 3 a.m.?
This is so 19-year-old fucking woman. 19. It's so annoying. Listen, 19-year-olds are children to me, kind of. You're a young adult, but you're already immature at 19. And we're going to get super fucking woke, especially when these young people all went through fucking COVID, which was like years where they didn't go out and socially interact. And they stayed in these already like very online, socially awkward internet spaces. And then she has autism, which she seems to be managing, but adds another layer of difficulty when it comes to social interaction. And it's like we have all these different things and like we are grown adults. What are you talking about, bro? Like, and I don't even know the age of the other mind. Like, what is this? A Call Me Carson scenario? They're not even hitting on anybody. You got 19. Like, what is the other person? 17? You keep saying minor. At this point, the word minor is a fucking dog whistle. Because, like, they got people that are like, oh my God, this 19-year-old is talking to a minor. Well, how old is the minor? 17. Oh my God, holy fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing? A minor could be a literal toddler or it could be a 17-year-old. You need to be specific about this stuff. It matters. All of this matters. What the fuck?
I hope you guys see why I don't think Phibz is innocent. Another thing, I haven't seen people talk.
Nobody's saying that she's innocent. This is what the fucking problem is too. Nobody's saying that they're innocent. We're talking about, are they guilty of being a predator? None of this language is so far as predatory. This isn't innocent guilty. Like Phibz is guilty of awkward online social interactions that are irresponsible. But we haven't seen anything predator related. We've seen cringe posting. Vinges 14, this is the dude that we're talking about in the JiDion stream, the one who said nothing sexual happened. Oh yeah, JiDion read all the messages. This is the Vance guy where it was like all awkward, but nothing was sexual. And to Vance's credit, you're young, you're 14 years old. This is the problem, is that like this Vance guy is more of a victim of people like Bludspeth, who are also probably fucking 14 years old, and they are of Phibz. Phibz is like awkward online. So this 14-year-old interacting with this person, some of it's cringe posting. They're all trying to be like edgy emo. They shouldn't really be having these conversations in general, but like she's older, so she shouldn't really be, interacting with these. There's no sexual harassment. There's no grooming. There's nothing like that going on. But then this 14-year-old gets told by these fucking insane Lolcow networks that just centralize around harassing the fuck out of Lolcows with disabilities. And they go, oh my God, I've been victimized. These are the people that are making people feel victimized online. Like, these are the same people. Like, this is the same energy that you get applied to like fucking, other people online that makes them feel infantilized. Like, like you on TikTok and there are some people that are like, oh my God, I was groomed, or I was this, or I was that. And a lot of times it's like very sensationalized language where that didn't happen. It's because we have a very bizarre interaction with wanting to be a victim online, right? And this is part of it. This is a cringe, inappropriate interaction that is not traumatizing at all, that now somebody's telling somebody who's young that it was traumatizing and that you should feel traumatized. And especially for a young person who's probably already emotionally vulnerable because they're going through puberty and they're young, that's a very vulnerable time for them mentally. And you're inserting feelings into their brain that they would not have normally felt. You're more of the problem. you're encouraging them to feel like they were victimized. So this Vance guy isn't even isn't even a bad person. It's these fucking crazy Lolcow networks, dude. It's these insane Lolcow networks, and it's impossible to communicate these things to some of these people because they just don't want to get it whatsoever.
Talk about much is Phibz literally pretending to be this miner's fictional crush. So this miner Yume ships, quote unquote, this character Virgil from this.
I'm alive. Hi. It's funny how you're a Virgil Yumi, but I'm basically him. I think I kin him. I don't know what the fuck that means. I lava Virgil. Sorry, I was tweaking out about him last night. Forgot half of the shit I did with my profile. LMAO. Oh shit, never mind. I remember what I did. Sai, what did you do? Okay.
Online series. And a Yume ship is basically like when you ship yourself with a character, like a relationship. And
so they're saying that they ship themselves with a character, and this person happens to be cosplaying mentally as the character. And so you're drawing the connection that she's trying to rape him. Okay.
Phibz pointed that out and said it was funny because she basically kins him, meaning she identifies with the character, which, weird, you're 19 and you're telling this minor that you identify with the fictional character they have a crush on. Weird, but that's not it. Phibz.
Oh, I guess I got it in the opposite direction. Cool. Okay, you're Virgil. Okay. Wait, I'm alive. Vance says hi. Phibz says, it's funny how you're Virgil Yumi, but I'm basically him. Okay, so they're saying... I don't even know what these words mean. Maybe I don't know what does Yumi, what does Virgil Yumi mean? It's funny how you're a Virgil Yumi. I don't know what does this mean? Okay, so apparently Yume means dream. So apparently they are a Virgil dream, so they pretend to be Virgil, but I'm basically him. I think I can. Okay. Dude, this is fucking gay. I don't know. Sorry. What are we doing here?
Basically kins him, meaning she identifies with the character.
Kinning a character equals you relate to that character. Yume equals short for Yume shipper. Well, I don't know what a Yume shipper is. Yume, not Yumi. Yume, got it. Thank you guys. We're learning it in real time what words that don't matter.
Which, weird, you're 19 and you tell this minor that you identify with the fictional character they have a crush on.
Crazy.
Weird, but that's not it. Phibz pretended to have DID, which in layman's terms is multiple personality disorder, and one of these...
DID is dissociative identity disorder. What? Not to harp on it, but these two things are... Okay. Got it. They're the same thing. Okay, I guess that's fine. I don't know why I'm getting hung up on dumb details.
His alters or personalities was this character that the minor had a crush on. Okay. So you'd see in the chats, they literally pretend to be the character.
When did Phibz say they had DID? What is this? What is this?
And why are you talking like a kid's fictional crush in their DMs at night? Like, you guys see where I'm getting at with this? And I hope...
No, I don't. I don't even understand. When did they say they had DID? This is like brand new. Because they're pretending to be a gay anime character. All of a sudden, sorry, I shouldn't use the word gay like that. Since they're pretending to be an anime character, they have DID now?
No one tries to make the really dumb argument that she actually does have DID, and one of these characters happens to be this minor's fictional crush. That's totally a thing that happens. Okay. Not. But now let's get into the group chat, which is arguably worse. Keep in mind that Phibz was the only adult in the group chat. She was 19 and everyone else was 17 and below, which, weird again, why are you an adult in a group chat full of minors on Discord where you all roleplay? And speaking of, she loved roleplaying. She would always ask...
Okay, did they sexual roleplay? I'm pretty sure the roleplay was just them, like, pretending to hang out in person. It was actually sad. Like, it was kind of sad. Like, I felt bad for them.
...to roleplay. So much so that she complained to the minor in DM.
Are you okay? Just bored and a little left out since I feel like I'm the only one constantly wanting to RP. Plus, then I feel like I'm majorly annoying. Okay, this is totally normal. They're just being a little cringe.
That she felt like she was the only one who wanted to roleplay. Like, excuse you. This is one of the most concerning screenshots in my opinion, and it's the one where Phibz is sending a bunch of thirst trap self.
Here, take a break from all the ugly hoes in the group chat for a second. This is a flip phone. What the fuck? Love the piercing. Me? Cool. They're feeling themselves. Probably shouldn't be doing this. Is there anything to follow it up that they're trying to have sex with all the children in the group and the thing? This cringe posting.
Fees to the group chat, full of minors, by the way, and then said, take a break from all the ugly blanks in the group chat. It's really weird to
ugly blanks.
say, but like, why are you sending thirst trap selfies to minors? Do you want them to call you hot or something? That's gross. And you know,
maybe. It's interesting how there's all these allegations of them being some kind of a groomer, and not a single post that shows them trying to sleep with a child.
What? They actually just responded to me about those 2 SH screenshots I showed you earlier and said, quote, I don't see anything wrong in those that I did, emphasize.
If you don't want to go in depth on that, I understand. There's a few screenshots I appreciate explanation for. I didn't see anything wrong with those that I did. Me saying, ooh, is just basically me being uncomfortable and not knowing what to say. But that's actually a totally normal response that they would make here. They're just being uncomfortable. Oh, yeah, got it. Like, they're not trying to play. Bro, like, think about it this way. This is what's so funny to me. This was so funny. So, again, Phibz shouldn't really be in these Discord, Discord with, like, younger people. They're a popular online content creator that blew up, and people join the Discord. It's a lot of, like, kind of anime cringe stuff for young people. Again, they have like autism. They went through COVID. That's very stunting for your development in different ways. You know, staying at home, all these other things that, you know, you struggle with online, just like, you know, social interaction in general. So now they're in a Discord and they're having this chat with somebody. I don't know if it's a one-on-one chat or if it's in like the regular Discord. And these are the 2 going back and forth. But this person here, who is younger, is like, oh man, I used to cut myself and blah, blah, blah. And like, what do you say to that? Well, like, what do you say to that? You know, like if you completely stop talking to them, the person that cuts themselves might get depressed and cut themselves more. Or if you feed too much into it, that could be toxic too. So she's just like, oh, okay. What do you say? You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you supposed to say? Holy fuck. Oh my God, I'm calling the police. Like, what do you say? What do you say? You just awkwardly go, oh, crazy, dude. That's crazy. You know?
As I did, me saying ooh was basically me being uncomfortable and not knowing what to say like at all, which this makes her look so much worse in my eyes.
It doesn't. It makes her look normal.
Number 1, that's a kid. That's a minor. Why are you like victim blaming them? Don't see anything.
They're not victim blaming anybody. They're not blaming them for it. What?
Wrong that I did. After, here's some screenshots, by the way, telling her, oh, I see myself so much in you. You can vent to me whenever.
I see myself so much in you. Let's see. That's why I kind of felt a connection to you, because I know what like it's like to feel everybody. What's the rest of this? Everybody doesn't like them? Yeah, but eventually kind of realize that these people don't deserve you. Like, Vance, genuinely, you're an awesome person, and I believe in you so much because you see me in you. Because I see you and me. Okay, so they're both having a conversation. Apparently, Vance is struggling to make friends, and then Phibz is like, "Yeah, you eventually realize you don't need, like, they don't deserve you because you put your energy into them." I don't know the full context. I'm kind of making that up, but frankly, it makes sense based on how I'm reading this. That's why I kind of felt the connection to you, because I know what it's like to feel everybody, and then we don't get to see the rest of it because context doesn't matter to these creators. Yeah, but eventually you kind of realize that these people don't deserve you. So it sounds like they're having this conversation. Do I think that there should be this close of like a friendship between these few people? Probably not. Do I think that this person is trying to traumatize them? No, it sounds like they're both depressed and they're just sharing that depressive experience. That relationship could be taken and used in some kind of a grooming capacity, which is why we generally advocate against these things, right? It's not, that's the problem, but there's been no proof that Phibz did. Like, Phibz should not be having relationships like this, and now they know, and I think they're going to stop. But the problem with these relationships is that they can be taken advantage of. And we haven't seen a single instance of that getting taken advantage of. Phibz seems to be trying to help them, even if that help is inappropriate. But not in a sexual sense. Just in the sense that, like, those two probably shouldn't be sitting there bonding too much. But, like, in general, this isn't, like, super inappropriate in the real world. I'm an Eagle Scout. So, like, when I'm in the Boy Scouts, people start as young as, I think, 13. So if you're, like, a 17-year-old and and your 13-year-old troop person in your troop is like, man, I'm kind of depressed at home, and you're like, oh, okay, like, let's talk about it. Like, you don't tell them to go fuck off and tell someone else. You would sit there and you would talk to them. That wouldn't be considered inappropriate, right? Because you're in the same environment. Like, you're there to do scouting together and to grow and to learn, and as you get older, you're supposed to help the younger troops. I'm not sitting here saying that this is what this dynamic is. What I'm saying is that you guys look at this and you're so fucking brain broken because you think that everything is sexual assault, rape, and grooming, that you can't look at it and go like, okay, I see where the inappropriate stuff is because it could be taken advantage of, and it's not an experience that is curated with adults like this, like scouting is. But, like, fundamentally, this doesn't always trigger, oh my god, grooming. You guys have so brain broken. But you guys don't understand because you're young and, like, you've been groomed online. This is your whole life. You don't go outside. You don't socially interact. You don't have girlfriends. You don't have any real life relationships. You don't do anything except for sit online and constantly obsess about Lolcow harassment content all day. And you think that's your whole world. You think that's your whole fucking world. Boy Scouts isn't the best example. It was the Scoutmasters that were fucking molesting the kids, not the other kids, okay? You know, this is your whole world. You've been gaslit by this atmosphere to think that everything is insanely, like, horrible and terrible and toxic.
And you can vent to me whenever. And
wow, you can vent to me whatever. Okay, thank you so much for caring about me. Genuinely means a lot. Are you okay, though? Yeah, just a little drained, V. Fair. If you ever want to chat about anything, I'm here. Okay, cool. Sounds nice.
And now,
Partner knows fuck, I'm about to lose my shit. Do you want to call so we can rant about it? Okay.
as soon as like you're getting crap for it, because this is a minor, they're very...
Damn, sorry for the random dump, man. No, you're good. You just need somebody to talk to. Talk it out. I'm good for that and giving relatable advice. Bro, it sounds like Phibz was really trying to be this person's friend in a nice way.
young and you're almost 20 years old. You're victim blaming them? Are you serious? Like, what a disgusting thing to say, dude. And you know what? Actually,
they didn't victim blame them.
Went back and looked at the dates of the messages of when all these conversations happened, and they were all within literally 3 days of knowing each other. Both the group chat started and Phibz DM'd the minor on the 27th,
Crazy.
and they stopped talking on the 30th. So let me ask you a question. When a grown adult talks to a minor for only a couple days on Discord, and in that time they pretend to have another personality, being the minor's fictional crush, have
Okay. Good faith.
very intricate personal discussions at night in regards to their issues and struggles with SH, and also guilt-tripping them into talking and role-playing, would you or would you
Tripping them? Okay.
not call that grooming? Because personally, I definitely would. And by guilt
What you're saying is incredibly stupid. Your framing is so dumb. I've already gone through that meticulously. Why this is wrong.
tripping, I'm referring to this screenshot where they unadded Phibz, and Phibz went to the group chat immediately to guilt-trip them into adding her back.
Fans, please accept my friend request. I cannot message you. I'm at the mall and I unfriended you because I was skitzing out. I'm sorry. You can just text me here. Oh, huh? Yeah, we had a little issue. Hi guys. What do you mean? I'll read the Twilight books. I'll read the Twilight. What? Send them to me. Yes. It's just like a little. I feel a little bad because we were not friends anymore. I'm confused. Why? We must chat here. Vance is taking a shit. My internet is bad and I can add you once I'm better. Okay. I was freaking out last night. Okay. I was just a little confused. Okay. Cool. What do I get out of this? What am I supposed to get out of this? Sounds like they added them because maybe they said something to Phibz and it made them feel embarrassed or what. Okay, cool.
Like, this is literally a child. Why are you talking to them like this? I just can't shake the disgust from this off of me. Phibz would also get very mad and
Let's RP. You promise? Yes. Okay. We can just RP in VG. I just want to call. Don't lie to me. Just to get me in voice chat. I never said I promise. I don't play around with this shit like that. So sorry. I'm already tired, so please don't say you're going to do something that don't. Okay, cool.
send messages and voice messages cursing out these minors if they like aren't talking to her or about her, or if they're not role-playing with her.
So that's not even close to what just happened. What just happened is that Phibz seems to want to roleplay, but not in call. But the person will only roleplay in call, and they're like, you better not just try to get me in the call and not actually roleplay with me, because they like to roleplay because that's what they do. Okay.
Here is one example. That's just a screenshot, and then I'm gonna play some audio recordings for you.
Guys, if we keep talking about love and such, I'm going to shit myself. Please change the topic. Thank God.
What's wrong with that?
If we keep talking about love and such, I'm going to
Love and what?
shit myself. Please change the topic.
It sounds like hold on a second.
It's for you.
I think that they censored something here, and that's the problem.
Guys, if we keep talking about love and such, I'm going to shit myself. Please change the topic.
Am I so it sounds like she's saying let's stop talking about love. I don't know if that's love as a character or if they wanted to redirect the conversation away from romantic interactions. Doesn't that make Phibz look really good? Am I wrong?
Guys, if we keep talking about love and such, I'm going to shit myself. Please change the topic.
Doesn't this make her look really good? Doesn't this make her look good? She's trying to steer the conversations away from romantic conversations. I mean, maybe a character's name is Love. I don't know. Everyone, can someone please tell me what's happening? Okay, they don't want this topic to be about love because it's pissing me off, and I'll just tell you in DMs. Okay, yo Vance, come get your bitch ass ex. Uh-oh, and then they say that. Bro, shut up. Oh my god. Oh, right.
Thank God. I'm not equipped to be a marriage therapist, So let's just not.
Dude, I don't know if you realize that this destroys your narrative. Because they're literally saying, hey, we need to stop talking about romantic interactions. Holy fuck, to like everybody in the group. She's literally saying, guys, stop talking about romantic stuff. You're trying to say she's a fucking groomer when she's trying to steer conversations away from romantic conversations. Holy fuck. You're actually brain broken. You're actually so brain broken. It's fucking insane. It is insane how fucking brain broken you are. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Bro, go to the end.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but it's just when people talk about one specific topic for a long period of time, I will lose my shit. Is that my pronouns page? Okay, so gender flux is when your gender like fluctuates. Asexual is basically the same, but with A, so my sex fluctuates as well. Panromantic is just pan, but like in romantic attraction instead. Ambimorious is like if you're poly but mono. No, I'm joking. Ambimorious is when it really depends on your partner.
Okay, so now they're basically doing fucking patronyms with LGBTQ shit. Oh, this is my gender, this is my thing. This is all what the kids do when they're looking for attention. I'm not saying trans people aren't real or anything. I'm just saying that this is like they replace this with like my patronym is like deer, just like Harry Potter, Harry Potter's mom. Wait a minute, that's Snape's fucking Patronus too? Oh my god, what the fuck? Alright, you know what I mean? Like, this is what they're doing. They're just like being fake, like a cringe, and they're trying to have an identity. That's what a lot of people do when they're young. They're identity searching. Okay, cool. Is this part of the grooming narrative?
Xenogender is when you go by neopronouns, and you probably already know what autistic is.
But we aren't done just yet. Another minor who's 16, which I understand isn't as bad as if she was 2 years younger like the other minor, but still, you know, it doesn't sit right with me. But this minor was role-playing with Phibz in a
How old are you? How old are you?
Romantic way. Even Phibz herself admitted, but she called it light romance. Whatever, but either way, here's the first screenshot where they offered to do a...
Out of character, you said you wanted to slow burn RP. I'm kind of down for that. Oh, yeah, I'd actually love that, but then we should. What is slow burn? So AI, guys, we're AI. Slow burn roleplay is a narrative-driven experience where characters' relationships, particularly romantic or platonic bonds, develop gradually, focusing on deep emotional connection. Okay. UST and pining over quick romance. So they might have been doing sex stuff, but I don't really know the specific context. But okay. Let's see what we got.
Slow burn roleplay with Phibz, and of course she accepted. And here's another one that hasn't actually been seen before, where Phibz is...
Wait, that's it? You don't have any of the specifics? He's 18? Oh my... Jesus Christ. The Bludspeth guy's 18? Of course. Of course. Grown adult. No. Okay, so we got nothing there. They said that they want to do slow burn roleplay, and then we have none of the specifics, so we don't even know if it was sexual.
First minor jealous.
Let's see. Please, we still need to develop the Virgil X Roman ship. I can do one in the call. I don't know what the context of this means.
Asking the slightly older minor to develop their ship more in roleplays. These are just some of the screenshots I've gathered in total.
Is it their ship, or are they just... Okay, sure.
Total, but I'm going to post everything on my Twitter when I can, but I just want to gather everything from the group chat and the DMs before I do. But yeah, I mean, in summary, this stuff is disgusting, and Phibz does not have the right to a platform, in my opinion. She does not deserve to have millions of followers, and all these minors watching her videos that...
The irony here is palpable, because, like, as inappropriate as Phibz has interacted, which is completely, like, non-sexual, and hasn't harmed a single person, but the problem with the relationships is that they could be used to groom, so we should just stay away from allowing people to do that, is that despite the bad things that they've done, you are objectively worse off for every child that watches your content. No adults watch your content. Nobody with kids watches your content. I don't know who the fuck told you that. If they are, then they need to have their kids taken away. Your entire content strategy is to highlight lolcows with intellectual or developmental disabilities and be part of the relentless bullying, harassment, onslaught against these people to distress them further into being more depressed and making worse decisions, and then fucking brain fucking your audience into thinking every interaction that is slightly inappropriate is literally pedophilia. You are destroying the brains of people, and you're part of a network because you just watch other people who do that. You're literally just pyramid scheming fucking insane mental online perspectives that are fucking destroying people's mental health. What are you talking about? You are terminally online. Get a friend in real life and get off the fucking internet. This guy's Discord is probably full of a bunch of like of them sending a bunch of edgy fucking memes at each other. They probably send each other fucking George Droid and Charlie Clank memes. And you know what I mean? Like you guys are all, you enjoy edgy memes. They enjoy cringe RP, like role playing. That's it. Like, what the fuck?
She should be banned immediately. Sadly, the internet doesn't really work
He said in the debate that bullying lolcows inspired his viewers to get their lives together.
that way, but, you know, I mean, if it did, then a lot of people who are uploading right now wouldn't have their platforms, so we just gotta hope that TikTok makes the right decision and bans the predator off their platform. I know I might get hate for saying this, but I mean,
There's no predatory anything. Shut up.
I really don't care. People still defend Phibz even after very obvious proof gets shown, so, you know, that's all I have to say. But one last thing before I go, Phibz opened up a cameo. She is literally
oh my god, she's raping everybody who gives her money. Holy fuck. Now I realize she's a predator. Fuck, dude. Oh my god. The world is fucking cooked. That's it. That proved it to me.
Profiting off of these allegations.
Oh my god, she's profiting off of these allegations.
Made almost $1,000 already.
Why are you calling them allegations? Why are you calling them allegations? You just said she's a fucking predator. You're saying she's a predator groomer. They're not allegations in your opinion. You think that they're real. Calling it an allegation when you are saying that they are a predator groomer means that you don't believe what you're saying. You wouldn't use the word allegations. By your logic, you're showing us proof that she wants to rape kids. That she's a predator groomer that wants to rape these kids. But now it's an allegation. Okay, which one is it? What words do you know how to... Like, it doesn't make any sense. If you were so convinced that you're right, then why are the allegations to you? Doesn't make any sense.
Which...
Because you're showing us the proof.
Does not make me feel very good, you know, especially with these minors, with what happened to them, and they have to see this adult who was doing those things with them, making money, like, online off of their career, and then going around saying that they're innocent. I couldn't even imagine how that feels. And
it doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't feel like anything. Nothing happened. Nobody's traumatized. Nobody's upset. Nobody's traumatized. Nobody cares. These kids have no trauma. There's no trauma in any of these interactions.
I mean, I myself am, as you can tell, not exactly ecstatic about everything, so just imagine how they feel. That's it for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it.
Your whole entire personality is virtue signaling on the internet.
If you have any other suggestions, please let me know, and if you have any opinions on this whole situation, let me know in the comments as well. Thank you.
Dude, every one of these fucking weird, like, lolcow harassers are actually, they act just like fucking, like, weird SJWs during Gamergate. It's insane.
Thank you, and have a great day.
Agrees with
you too, dude. All right, let's watch the conversation between Dankyjabo, JiDion, and Bludspeth. Let's check it out.
This is Bludspeth. They are a Lolcow channel. They have made multiple videos on Phibz. They got very famous for their Nova Online videos. I think they made 36 Nova Online videos or something like that. And yeah, the entire channel is just predicated.
I will say it's crazy. It's crazy that YouTube punished Jack Films for making videos that like exclusively about Sniper Wolf. Slur, right? But we don't do anything about this kind of shit. So
on making videos on lolcows. I have mentioned many a time that I am not a fan of this type of content. I think that there is a lot of ableism rooted within it. I think they have a tendency to massively over-sensationalize claims about these.
We'll just watch it from the beginning. It's 7 minutes in.
People, and in Phibz in particular, I think they've massively over-sensationalized the pedophile claim in particular. And my argument is that
yeah, this is 100% true. It's actually insane. Like it's nice that there's finally some fucking pushback when it comes to these things, because these people just get away with like saying whatever they want. It's actually insane.
Over sensationalizing the pedophile claim and labeling them something that there is just not enough evidence for. That actually
I would say that there's like no evidence for it at all.
It takes away from the genuine horrible things that are being done by Phibz, such as acting like a peer in this Discord full of 14-year-olds, for example, and romanticizing self-harm, which are genuine problems that I feel should be talked about and spoken about in regards to Phibz.
For sure. I think that from my understanding that they already were talked about when it came to with JiDion. 100% though.
However, when you throw the pedophile label on her, that stringently and without evidence, that's what the entire conversation becomes, because it is by far the most abhorrent and strongest claim, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah, the conversation gets dominated by the most exaggerated claim because like it's not a true claim. So we kind of have to contend with that one first, you know, instead of having proportionate criticism for this person.
So it makes the actual topics that should be spoken about that much harder to actually speak about. I feel a bit bad for Phibz, but at the same time, she should be criticized for her actions. It's not a difficult dichotomy to understand. Like, I'm sure we can all agree that Chris Chan sexually assaulting their mother was a fucking horrible thing to do. That being said, I feel horrible for Chris Chan. Chris Chan is someone who was failed by everyone in their life.
Chris Chan sexually harassed their mother because of the Lolcow network. Like, I remember there was this particular conversation where they were talking to some girl, and the girl's like, oh, you think your mom wants to sleep with you? You should do that. Right? And this is an entire network where the person, like Christian had not a single authentic relationship their entire life. Even their dad, I remember, because we watched like 70 parts of the Christian documentary. There was even a point where like the dad paid people to be Christian's friends. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. Not a single authentic friend at all. Of course, you're going to act inappropriately. You're going to have a pretty fucked perspective on things. It doesn't make it okay. doesn't mean that Christians should be like, you know, I know that they're like not in jail right now, but it doesn't mean that they should get away with it or anything. But like we have to bring up the context of like these deep Lolcow bullying networks that create these problems. Christian wasn't a rapist, and doubtfully, and probably wouldn't have been one if it wasn't for all the online harassment. That's what it is. Like, yeah, they're basically a case study.
From the day they were born, essentially. They were bullied relentlessly online. They had all these mental disorders that weren't being looked after properly. So as much—
remember, like the pickle man costume, like somebody showed up in a pickle suit and just kept harassing him. That was supposed to be like a friend or somebody that was like, "Oh, I'll date you" or whatever. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Christian's relatable. They just looking for love, and they were just bullied relentlessly. You know.
As much as I feel bad for them, I can still acknowledge that sexually assaulting your own mother is really, really, really bad. It's, I don't know, I feel like
if you want to have like fewer mothers being sexually assaulted by their, you know, by their fucking kids or whatever, you would understand like a harm reduction perspective on this topic and be like, okay, we have to stop relentlessly harassing Lolcows.
It's not that difficult to actually understand. This is the thing, like if Christian was, I'm not saying you have to be best friends with her, but to bully them the way that they were bullied is fucking crazy. Because that's what leads to a lot of this shit. When we finally learn to understand, look, there's a reason why 30% of people in youth offending prisons have ADHD. I'm not sure what is the population of people who actually have ADHD, because I know it's massively disproportionate sort of representation in the prison or judicial system. 3.4% of adults and 5% of children.
I never heard that before, but that would kind of make sense because usually you're like rambunctious when you have ADHD. I have ADHD, so you can be a little difficult to deal with. Also, generally speaking, like young men with some kind of disability tend to be manifests in aggression in a lot of instances. It's one of the reasons why we need more male social workers to help, especially people with like autism, like men with autism. Because a lot of times it manifests in aggressiveness, and that would make sense as to why there are more people with disabilities. So, with or ADHD or probably young men. That's probably what it is inside a prison. So.
Yeah, so massive overrepresentation. And the same thing can be said with autism. The analysis is a little messier, scientific-wise. From what I understand, when it comes to like online offenses, stalking, harassment, sort of fixation-based behavior, and some sexual boundary offenses as well, such as pedophilia, obviously the social naivety, the rigid thinking, the intense fixation, the loneliness, the misunderstanding of like age and consent norms that a lot of autistic people face could play a role. That's not saying that autism in and of itself is a predictor for horrific crimes at all. But it's the traits that come with very untreated, undocumented, what's the word? When you're not undiagnosed, that's it, undiagnosed and mistreated autism, if that makes sense. Sometimes the neurodivergently misjudge when it comes to social boundaries, but isn't an excuse for assault. Of course, it's not an excuse, but it's very important.
Yes, it is. It's 100% an excuse. Like, just to be absolutely clear, an excuse doesn't mean that like you're totally free. Like having an excuse, a reason, part of an explainer, it doesn't get rid of the issue that you had or what you did wrong, but it helps explain the behavior. Like assault is like a very exaggerated claim. I know that they're talking specifically about the Christian stuff. But it adds an extra element, and if you study that element, you realize that there's like an entire harassment network against Christian. You're like, oh wait, this actually makes some sense, and you would understand that like you would put some of, not all of, but actually a pretty considerable amount of the blame for all the fucked up shit that's going on with Christian on the people harassing Christian, because they probably wouldn't have done these terrible things if they weren't like had like all their relationships destroyed in their life and encouraged to engage in bad behavior.
Important to understand, because if you don't understand what's causing these actions, then it's going to be very
it's more of an explanation instead of an excuse. That's probably a better way to look at it because of the stigmas attached to some of these words, for sure.
Difficult to fix the problem or sort the issue. But like, autism's not a predictor by any means. Most autistic people will not commit any of those crimes. It's usually a cluster of things like isolation, also comorbid ADHD, because if you're autistic, you're a lot more likely to have ADHD, and ADHD is a legitimate predictor because of impulsivity mainly. There's also the trauma that might come with autism, especially through COVID and quarantine for sure. It does not help when it comes to like social boundaries or learning how to be social. Substance abuse as well. You're a lot more likely to abuse substances if you're autistic. I think sex education massively needs to be improved throughout the West. Pretty much generally. Wait, JiDion's calling me.
I like both of y'all. I like Blood. I like you. I just want to listen.
Does he actually like this Bludspeth guy? I feel like JiDion is a people pleaser. You know what I mean? I feel like JiDion doesn't want to be in trouble. He doesn't want people to dislike him. So he's like, well, I like all you guys. You know what I mean? I like all you guys. You know? A little bit of a placater. I get some of that energy out of him sometimes.
That's okay.
So, yeah, because, I just want to hear. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I mean, you're more than welcome. Are you going to be on call, or do you want to, or should I?
What time's the debate?
He said he'll be ready in 10
The debate. Ooh.
minutes. 11 minutes ago.
Oh, so it could be like any second.
Yeah, he'll send a message just pretty soon, I think.
Damn, he's dodging you, dude. He was dodging you.
Oh, bet. Yeah, I'll stay in the call and listen. Is it beef between you two, or is it just a discussion?
I made a video response to this bloke called Pooh Boy, who he made a video on me, you, and a YouTuber called Papa Gut, who were very defensive of Phibz, I suppose.
Whoa.
I reacted to that, and then Bludspeth.
Maybe I should actually watch that full video just to get the full context. Actually, maybe I'll do that after. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll do that.
Beth put out a post calling me it was a very mean post. It was very, very strongly worded, so I don't think they like me very much. It's nothing personal between me.
What the hell?
But I think the content is dog shit.
True.
And I don't like the way that they cover lolcows and stuff. I'll read the post out, actually. I can show you guys, to be fair. This is kind of important context. Okay, let me share screen. Here we go. I just watched Dankyjabo's response to Pooh Boy's video, which he was a minimal part of on
Crazy, dude. JiDion didn't even flinch at the name Papa Gut. It's fucked up, dude. We used to be friendly, dude.
stream, and it's honestly one of the most garbage, infuriating, misinformed, and narcissistic videos I've ever seen. On multiple occasions, he absolutely loses his shit and starts screaming like a literal child over topics he completely misunderstands, insulting Pooh Boy and suffering an extreme cortisol spike. Not just that, he is completely misinformed and says countless objectively incorrect and misleading things in this video. He accuses Pooh Boy and me of not doing research, but at the same time downplays and brushes past serious evidence and straight up ignores other things. I will cover all this in my response video, which will be up by tomorrow. FYI, Danky said in confidence that he does not think that Nova is a pedophile. Hope that gives you an idea of who he is, but don't worry, he doesn't say the R word or make fun of people's looks, so he's better than those dirty Lolcow YouTubers. So that's a post he put up.
Oh man, okay.
I left a comment essentially.
Nah.
Bro, the war is starting. The war is starting between the fucking Lolcow obsessors and the normal people online, dude.
Now Nova.
Another chat on screen. We can have a chat, and he was like, "Sure."
Nova's a Nova's a what's it called? He's a different
He's a different beast, I agree, but I also didn't say in confidence that he wasn't a pedophile. I said...
Yeah, I don't really know the Nova situation. I have no idea what the fuck's going on with that.
Something along the lines of, I never called him a pedophile in my first video, but that was like a year ago. And I don't know enough about him to have a strong opinion, really, because I don't obsess over... Like, this guy Bludspeth, he has 35 videos on Nova Online. I don't obsess over him that much. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
He might be a pedophile. I have no idea, but also how it's like impossible to trust these people because they are so misinformed on all of their commentary. They're like, how would we even know what the fuck is going on? It's like impossible to even know if like they're accurate. Like they're not trustworthy sources of information. You have to like parse the information yourself.
Oh, if that's like an appropriate label. My issue with the pedophile claim, I said this already, is that there are legitimately bad things that Phibz has done. I'm sure me and you can agree on that, yeah?
Oh yeah.
But when you throw around the term pedophile, it sort of detracts from the conversation about those really bad things, because then the whole conversation becomes about the pedophile claim. So if we leave that out and don't over sensationalize that bullshit, and we can have a genuine discussion about the self-harm stuff and the role play with the minors and all that. But when you throw around the term pedophile willy-nilly, it just sort of deads every other claim. Or do you hang on, wait, real quick, Bludspeth? Is your government name out there, or should I just call you Bludspeth?
Yeah, just Bludspeth's fine. I know it's a little silly, but yeah.
All right, Bludspeth's cool.
And blood is too.
Okay. How old are you, real quick, as well?
18.
18. Okay, cool, no problem.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Good question.
So, all right, do you want to start then?
Yeah, I watched your response video on Pooh Boy yesterday, and yeah, I don't think he made the most perfect video. There are definitely things I would have changed. I do very much disagree with the response and a lot of the ways you acted during parts of it, and some of the points you make, as well as the you did ignore some things as well, which I don't want to assume that it's malicious, but I felt that they were like really important. But we'll get into that.
Okay, sure. So my argument is pretty simple.
Yeah.
I think Phibz did things that were inappropriate and dangerous and irresponsible around minors. I'm not defending those actions, but I'm saying the evidence does not support calling her a pedophile.
I also don't think that the evidence supports that they did any of it maliciously, which I think is something, I think that context matters. I don't think that they were having these like self-harm conversations because they were trying to lead people towards self-harm. I think that they're immature and they're like doing some cringe glorification of like it's emo and cool. Oh, I'm so dark and mysterious. That's the energy that I get out of there. But it's inappropriate, right? That's the problem.
And those are two very different claims. So if you want to call her unsafe around minors, if you want to, I'll have that conversation, right? If that's what you want to say. If you want to say she shouldn't run a Discord with minors, I completely agree. If you want to say that her self-harm comments were disgusting and potentially harmful, I agree with that as well. But if you want to call her a pedophile, you need actual evidence of sexual attraction to children, and I don't think that that evidence exists here.
Okay.
Yeah,
so have you?
It doesn't. There's no. It doesn't exist.
Looked into the new stuff?
The new screenshots with Vance, yeah?
Yeah, so then, and you agreed in Pooh Boy's video that it was inappropriate, right?
Yeah, the
I
self
think that fucking shitting your pants and throwing it at people is inappropriate too. It doesn't make it pedophilic.
harm stuff is the worst part of this. I don't think it was harmless. I don't think it was just cringe. I think it was dangerous, especially around many young and vulnerable fans.
Nova's a very long arch, LOL, worth looking at. Maybe if Turkey Tom makes a big long video about it or something.
But my disagreement isn't over whether or not that's bad. My disagreement is over whether that makes them a pedophile.
But you understand the precedent of her already having an established history with fetishizing and sexualizing self-harm, right?
What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with pedophilia?
And when you do it in private with a minor, you could argue that that's sexual, isn't it?
You could argue that, if you want, I guess. But like, what does that mean? When you say fetishize, what fetishization do we mean? Is there fetishizing of it? They were like, oh, it's cool. They were, I don't know if fetishizing it in a sexual capacity. What is that? Oh, it's because she's like, oh, I wish I could find like a boyfriend that would, cut themselves and I name into them like some like weird little edgy fucking cringe shit. Is that where we're getting the sexualized from? I don't know if that's inherently like instantly sexual or if that's like, oh, dude, I fucking hate this game. I don't know if I would say it was sexualized instantaneously.
I don't think you could argue that unless you had very good evidence that it was sexual. It strengthens the case. It strengthens the case that she shouldn't be around minor-heavy communities, which she definitely shouldn't. But it doesn't strengthen the case that she's sexually attracted to children.
So she sexualizes self-harm.
Does she?
Where does she sexualize self-harm? I don't see that.
Wait. What do you mean she sexualizes self-harm?
I want someone to carve their name into me.
That's not sexualizing self-harm.
The new evidence you showed was how long did I remember someone saying they knew each other for 3 days at that point, correct?
Yeah, I said that. Then they did.
Yeah, so
all the discussions happened within 3 days.
It's not as though Phibz groomed this person into self-harm. This was a young kid who had a lot of problems that was getting involved with another very mentally ill, not as young child, but 19 years old. And they were sort of feeding off of each other's trauma, if that makes sense. Now, Phibz, as the adult, absolutely should have removed herself from that position, but there was nothing sexual about those conversations. I think you really need to start digging and reaching to find some sexual shit there.
No, I mean, those two are really what do it for me.
Oh, well, then you just don't know how to parse through information, right? So, like, we've solved the problem. You don't really know how to parse through information. You don't understand. Like, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Like, you don't really understand what you're saying.
Just because, and Pooh Boy made this point, he said if it was anyone else, they could have given her the benefit of the doubt because she claimed in my DMs that it wasn't inherently, or that wasn't sexual, the ooh statements. Mm-hmm. And the reason that we think so, and I mean, I don't know if you do as well, but she has an established history of sexualizing self-harm. So when you talk about self-harm in private to a minor, by the way, at 3 a.m.
What's the pattern of doing that? Where is that substantiated that they have a habit of doing that? What?
Would it be outrageous for one to find that inappropriate?
No, it's not outrageous to find it inappropriate. It's outrageous to call her a pedophile because of it.
So she says inappropriate things in DMs with a minor, but she's not a pedophile?
Dude, yeah. We can't. This conversation is like never going to be productive. Ever. This conversation will never be productive. This is like the most brain rot shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, you have to understand. This person doesn't understand what words mean. We can't talk about the word. We don't even understand what the word inappropriate means. This person is so brain fucked. We don't even understand what the word inappropriate means. That's what's happening here, just to be absolutely clear. Because, like, oh, well, this was inappropriate. So then they're a groomer? What does the word inappropriate mean to you? What does it mean? Inappropriate can mean a lot of things. Inappropriate could be sexually inappropriate, or it could be other types of inappropriate. Like fucking, yelling loud in a restaurant is inappropriate behavior. Like you can't even like define basic terms. It's like we have the debate bro. Like you have to be debate broed. Oh, well, it was inappropriate. What does that mean to you? I don't even know. We don't even know the word. We don't even know anything. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what my point is.
So
hang on. Is your definition of pedophile someone who says inappropriate things in DMs with minors?
You realize inappropriate is referring to sexual, not.
No, it's not. It's you. The problem is that there's this constant like question of like, hey, what makes it like? There's nothing. So he makes a claim. The fucking whatever, Pooh Boy, what the fuck this guy's name is? Fucking Cripseth. He makes this claim that there's something inappropriate going on sexually, and then Dankyjabo's like, well, this isn't sexual. And then he's like, okay, but it's inappropriate. And then he just keeps saying, well, it is sexual. He just keeps saying it is, even though there's nothing there. There's not. We don't. You haven't even. There's nothing sexual. We haven't seen a single sexual thing at all yet. What are we talking about? Like, we're just fucking saying things. What?
Not just not appropriate.
Yes, even weird sexual jokes made to minors doesn't make you a pedophile.
It wasn't a joke.
What joke? What joke are we talking about?
What do you mean? What,
did you think?
She said.
Did you think
She
the
said.
ooh statements were jokes?
No,
you
no,
think
no.
The other statements were jokes.
I don't think the ooh statements were jokes. I think the
ooh statements were awkward.
Statements was her being interested in what was being said.
I think that it was her being kind of awkward. But either way, that doesn't mean that it's sexual.
Interested in the self-harm where there's an already established precedent that she sexualizes.
We haven't. Okay, if you say so.
She was interested in the self-harm, yeah. Didn't she immediately say after, like, stay safe, I've been through this before?
She said, I hope you'll be okay, and then she sent an edit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she send her fucking pussy? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I don't understand. Like, where's the sexual part? We don't have the sexual part. They seem to, like, romanticize self-harm with that, like, cringe, like, oh, I wish I'd find a partner that would do that. It's inappropriate. Doesn't make it sexual. That's the whole claim.
Yeah.
But so again, they were talking at that point for, I think that was the second day they were speaking.
Oh my god, well, they're basically married.
Okay, well, you were calling her a pedophile from way before that evidence came out, so what happened before it that made you think it was appropriate to call her a pedophile?
Well, that's what it comes down to, right? It's like an anchor bias. The internet said that it's okay to call this person a pedophile. This is how the whole chain works. And then since nobody wants to like defend some kind of a lolcow online, they just get away with saying whatever they want in their like little hug box. And then they just continue the behavior. And then somebody's like, wait, this isn't true. And they're like, well, everyone else believes me, so it's true. Like, it has to be true. Like, this is what I was told was appropriate to say. I'm basically just engaging with, like, talking. Like, I'm just told that this is okay. I'm allowed to say this stuff. Like, what do you mean it's not okay? Like, this makes no sense to me. I've never gotten pushback in my entire life before on these topics. My mom and dad don't know what I'm doing online. They think I'm just a silly little guy. What do I do?
That's not the conversation at hand. It's whether she is or not, which...
That is a conversation at hand because it shows that you have an anchor bias into wanting to believe something and that you're already compromised.
I'm showing the current proof right now.
So you think... So that's the only evidence you have that they're a pedophile?
That's the only evidence. Yeah, all the screenshots.
If that's your only evidence, then why were you saying in the first place?
That's my reasoning behind it, yeah.
Okay, can we talk about the CSAM thing real quick? Because I thought the conversation was about Phibz in general, not about two screenshots.
Well, the CSAM thing? Do you know what the CSAM allegation was about? Do you know what it was about, dude? It was that, like, her friend was liking, like, Naruto hentai or something. And that was called CSAM.
Well, it was about her being a pedophile, and those were being used as proof. But if you want to switch to a different topic,
well, you made 3 videos on Phibz, and you declared that she was a pedophile in your 4, and you declared she was a pedophile in your first one.
I use it in my thumbnail, yeah.
Okay, so did you not actually think she was a pedophile, or was it just a thumbnail thing? Was it just like clickbait?
Well, I wouldn't clickbait something like that. That'd be very, very inappropriate. But
so what you're saying is that multiple times you've got it wrong on if she was or wasn't a pedophile. That's your argument.
Okay, so you
I definitely did still think so with the inappropriate comments she was making in a server with minors.
Was one of the reasons you thought she was a pedophile because of the defense of the CSAM?
No, that statement already was weird. We were taking what she said and believing it. So she was.
What was she saying?
She said she defended someone with CP, not some.
She didn't defend anybody with CP. She's defended people. She said it was about fucking Naruto hentai. What are we talking about?
Someone else, and I literally said in my video, I don't know if she meant it that way, and I hope she didn't. I said that in the video. You said
it was very dangerous to keep Zane in the Discord server because Zane was a CSAM enjoyer.
She said that she kept someone in the server who she said was supporting CP, and I was saying that is dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, Zane.
Yes, that's right.
But you didn't look into Zane. You didn't look into what Zane actually did.
I saw a few screenshots, nothing substantial, but I mean, I did hear. Well, she actually told me. I talked to her earlier, not earlier, a few days ago. So she said initially that it was something about him consuming CP when he was a minor, and then she said that later she was enlightened of some things and ended up blocking him anyway. So
Okay, but
She's kind of bouncing around. Sorry, go ahead.
I asked if you looked into what Zane actually did in regards to the CP.
I mean, I tried. I didn't see much. If you want to inform me, I would greatly appreciate that.
I mean, it was in my video that the CP, the CSAM, was a 17-year-old anime character drawn in a lewd fashion. That was liked by Zane. That was liked by Zane at 13 years old.
That's the CP allegation, guys. We love to hear it.
Yeah, I did hear that. Was that in? Did Phibz say that, or where was that? Just curious.
Sorry, where was that? I'm just curious. I'm really just taking the barking. I kind of just listened to whatever other people. I'm just regurgitating what other people have already said about these topics. I don't really understand what's happening. I don't really have an understanding of any of this.
You can see in your first video when you make the initial claim, they're talking about Naruto, so you can sort of kind of gather it there. But then when you look at Zane's actual profile, and this was out at the time, I covered it in my first video about Phibz. It was just a 17-year-old image of an anime character, presumably a Naruto one, I guess.
Okay. Well, if that is the case, then
so you don't even know?
No, that's definitely in no way comparable to actual.
Wow. He never actually looked into the CSAM allegations. He just decided that like they were doing CSAM stuff. That was pretty much that's the TLDR here. Okay.
CSAM. But
you say CSAM. What are you doing CSAM? Like, what is happening here? Speak.
She's telling me different. She said she did end up blocking him because the guy turned out to do weird things. So I really don't know what the deal is with this Zane individual.
Okay, but if that's true, what does it have? They still didn't defend CSAM.
She hasn't provided any proof.
Right, but you claimed that she was...
She hasn't provided proof? Wouldn't you be the one that I have to provide proof for your claim?
Defending pedophilia. Defending someone who watched CP.
I said that she said she was defending someone who watched CP. Those were her words verbatim. She was defending someone who is involved with...
Those were her words? So we didn't need to verify the CSAM stuff.
CP, I don't know what it involved with or whatever, but those were her words, and I parroted that. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you didn't confirm the allegations. Okay.
Okay. Well, Pooh Boy said something along... Well, Pooh Boy did make the direct...
So you heard... You just... Okay. I guess that's fine. Yeah, you just didn't verify the allegation. Okay.
Accusation that she was defending someone or defending pedophilia. So would you be able to acknowledge that Pooh Boy falsely accused Phibz of defending pedophilia based on the knowledge that we have?
Yeah, he definitely shouldn't have included that, given the current knowledge. Absolutely.
The current knowledge, that was like always the knowledge. You realize you would have to fact check these before you put it out there, unless you're a fucking like a baby, right?
Right. It was a false accusation of pedophilia defense.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So look, I think we've hit a bit of a roadblock because it's a point where you believe that the evidence shown goes beyond just inappropriate messages or sexual messages of minors. You think it enters the realm of pedophilia, yeah?
I do, yeah.
Okay. So do you think that Phibz... Well, I guess... How would you define pedophile, then?
Attraction to minors. Kind of layman's terms, but yeah.
That is layman's. I mean, if you want to get into like the real conversation, like pedophilia is it's usually considered a persistent attraction of somebody that is like prepubescent, like 13 and under, and the age gap, you'd have to be 16 and older, and there'd have to be a 5-year gap, right? So you wouldn't be considered a pedophile technically at 19 and like 13. Or that's like right on the bridge that you could be considered a pedophile. If there was sexual interaction there, right? But we haven't seen any sexual interaction, so we don't have like a pedophile claim at all. Because again, there's no sexual attraction part there.
That's
attraction to minors. And your evidence of her attraction to minors is her saying ooh at the mention of self-harm. Her,
as you also agree with, expressing interest in self-harm, which is already established that she...
I don't know if you guys know self-harm isn't like inherently sexual. I don't know if you guys know this.
Find sexual, yeah.
What?
With showing that interest to a 14-year-old in DMs that night, yeah.
What interest did she show to a 14-year-old in DMs? What?
Okay.
Weren't they when they were 19 or when they were 17? This is all like between like 19 and 17. This is like all over the place.
Let's say I find glasses sexual, for example. Like I'm really sexually attracted to glasses. If I show an interest in a minor's glasses, does that immediately mean because I have a thing for glasses that I'm being a pedophile? I know this might not be the best example, but I'm on the spot here.
No, that is...
We haven't even established that there was any sexual connection when it comes to the cutting stuff whatsoever. I don't know how you're supposed to dodge this fucking attack. It's actually so lame. we haven't even like established that. Like we have a situation where the only thing that we saw was that they said that they wanted somebody in a relationship to like cut their name into their my name into their arms because they thought that was romanticizing it, but they didn't tell them to do it. And the other person like, yeah, me too, because they were a bunch of like cringe emo, acting like that's like cool in some capacity to them. That's not the same as them like sexualizing the situation and wanting somebody to do that to them. Like that's info dumping. It's inappropriate, but like that's not the same thing as what you're talking about. What?
Not even comparable. Those two things, glasses and self-harm. Glasses is something that some people need. It's a tool. And self-harm,
guys, me, when I don't realize that a comparison like isn't literally the same thing, holy fuck.
One of the most terrible things you could do to yourself. It's very, very, very damaging to oneself, to one's health, to one's mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to engage with that because that's just really...
Well, that's really convenient for you.
Insane logical fallacy to compare glasses to...
Actually, that's a logical fallacy.
To self-harm, especially with
the conversation is about, is it an inherently sexual conversation just because they like a thing and the other person might do the thing? That's it. That doesn't mean that you're attracted. It's like I like if you like it when your fucking wife farts, it doesn't mean that you're attracted when fucking kids like farting. Like that's the that's the comparison here. Like, oh, they have this because they have glasses doesn't mean that they sexualize those person's glasses. That's the point that he's trying to make here. I think that anybody knows that reasonably. Even if you think that it's like maybe it's not the best example, that's the point that's trying to be made here.
In regards to sexual attraction, to which fetishes exist for self-harm, and this person does have a fetish.
We don't know. We don't know that they have a fetish for self-harm. I don't know what you're talking. You keep saying this as if it's a fucking fact. What are you talking about?
And they did partake in that, as opposed to an accessory. You see how that's kind of very...
I'm making a distinction. It's an example. Yeah. Maybe it's not the best example. If you give me some more time, sure I could think of a better one. But do you understand where I'm coming? Do you understand where I'm coming from, at least?
I understand why you may be thinking a certain way, but I don't think that's applicable to something like self-harm at all.
Do you understand why I think you're being way too quick to call this person a pedophile?
Yeah, they have to double down because they've already called Phibz a pedophile. So they have to double down or else they feel stupid. That's the whole point. That's basically what happened here.
And that if you call this pedophilia, it sort of detracts from the word pedophile to begin with?
I can see maybe the line of reasoning that could get you to come to that conclusion, but
this kid's trying. This kid has like his favorite fucking online debater, and he's trying to act like an holy fuck, dude.
I don't agree.
To me, she seems like a chronically online 19-year-old who acted like she was still 14, surrounded herself with teenagers, overshared sexual and self-harm content, and failed to understand the responsibility that comes with being an adult in the room.
And being a content creator, and also I don't think that Phibz tried to surround themselves with like young people. I think that those are the types of people who gravitated towards like her Discord because she was a content creator.
That's bad enough. You don't need to inflate it into pedophilia to make it condemnable.
I don't need to make it any more condemnable than it is. I'm just calling out as
You're trying to make it, you're sensationalizing it for views and attention because that's what you operate on. You're compromised.
I believe it is a display of pedophilia.
Well, it's not. You're like objectively wrong, so okay.
And the new stuff just cemented it for me.
The new stuff could have been that she collects moldy oranges and you would have cemented it for you because you're looking for it to cement it. Like you're not engaging in a way where you're actually trying to find the truth. You're just trying to double down on your bias. So I don't know what you're referring to here.
Okay. So you think she's deliberately... Do you think she's like grooming them? Do you think she's like attracted to this minor? Like wants to have sex with a minor?
Well, she was engaging in, for her specifically, interest in a sexual topic.
What topic is that?
The first 2 days of talking to one particular...
Oh, there's no proof of this. He's just going to continuously say that the self-harm is inherently sexual because he decided it needs to be, because he needs to double down on the pedophile accusations that have been constantly like lied about. That's pretty much what it is. Oh, fuck.
Particular minor, which thankfully they cut it off early. I mean, if that's what she was doing on day 2, could you imagine if that went on?
The problem is he's going to continuously say that it was sexual in nature, even though he has no actual proof of that. And he's going to continuously like double down on the idea that it was sexual, like all the self-harm stuff was sexual. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be like, well, it is sexual, even though it's like, well, it's not. We haven't seen any proof that it's sexual, but it is sexual, so that means that they're pedophiles. They're just saying the same thing over and over again.
I mean, it's a consistent pattern. And, you know, the good thing to note is that she did this after the first time, the set of videos that came out about her. So she heard all the criticism and did it again.
Who cares? Like, not for nothing, but like, you guys are completely fucking. You guys give a worthless criticism. If I heard criticism from you guys, I'd ignore the fuck out of it. That's what she did. She heard criticism from people who don't know what they're talking about, and she was like, this isn't true. She didn't have an educational lesson. Yeah, the Lolcow networks that harassed people, well, we harassed her, and then after we harassed her, she didn't take what we said as fact, even though we're just a harassment campaign against people. Oh, wow, okay, crazy. Like, what an irresponsible person. That's what you're saying to me right now. Why would she listen to you guys? You guys aren't worth anything. You're like, as you are a zero authority interaction here.
So you think she's attracted to minors?
Yes.
Okay. Well, for the record, her doing this again after being called out for it is something that I knew would happen. I know JiDion's in this call. It's something I said in the interview when he interviewed me. Was I said that, I'm not sure if you remember this, JiDion, when I said she should get offline because I can see something like this happening again. Because this is what happens when very mentally ill people who went through quarantine, who haven't had...
I wouldn't say that she's very mentally ill. I would say that she's somebody, like, she struggles with autism. Right, but she's not like very mentally ill. I don't think that she needs to be very mentally ill. I think that somebody without like an intellectual disability could suffer like with the same situation going on, just being very terminally online. I don't think she's very mentally ill.
Had much social development, who haven't had the chance to talk to people.
The rest of this stuff is definitely true.
Who are being bullied relentlessly,
That's
who
definitely true.
have very easy access to minors online through this whole Discord server and TikTok or whatever, and a Discord where there are plenty of minors inside of it. It's like a community where she finally feels as though she can actually express herself without being bullied horrendously.
And then also, like, the things that she's into are immature. Like her like, she likes role playing. You know what I mean? Like, that's an immature hobby that she has, and that's going to also be difficult for her to find adults who enjoy that same hobby. That's like one of the issues as well.
And so she got way too comfortable, and I think if you want to say there was like unintentional predatory behavior in there, that's not something that I would necessarily argue with.
I would like, I understand what you're saying. You're like, the behavior could be interpreted as predatory, but you can't unintentionally have the predatory behavior. It would be like they engage in a behavior that could be seen as predatory. Yeah, for sure. I could see that. Absolutely. I can understand that, like, some people might be like, oh, I think this behavior could be used as a grooming tactic to harm, XYZ. 1000%. Absolutely. And I understand that. And you could say that if you want, but we haven't seen anything outside of like the behavior. We haven't seen it being used to try to like groom a kid or like actually develop a sexual relationship with anybody. That's completely unsubstantiated. It's not substantiated at all.
I think predator is a very different claim from pedophile, but the word predator is just so broad that I'm not really a big fan of it.
I would kind of say that they're like a pedophile is a form of a predator, but
What are they preying on?
they're not a predator or a pedophile. So,
Pardon?
If they're a predator, what are they preying on?
Well, I don't think they are a predator.
But you said you wouldn't find it unreasonable to call them an unintentional predator. So
I think that was unintentional predatory behavior. Yeah.
You said unintentional predator.
Yeah, because there seemed to be some sort of comfort in this community of self-harm, which is really, really grim. But it's not pedophilia.
Maybe I don't know how intense the self-harm. Again, from what because we have like one. The problem is like there's like one example of everything. Like our examples of these things are like there's one thing. Oh yeah, there's one. Like so, it's hard to say. It seemed like they were talking like they were fucking emo posting about how I'm cool and mysterious. I like to cut myself. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem to be. It doesn't seem to be this like huge thing where it's like a consistent pattern. It seems to be like edgy posting, like gone wrong. And then when somebody expresses like, when they're like, I do this to myself, and Phibz is like, because they're uncomfortable and awkward. That's how I interpret it. That's the way that she says it is. I kind of believe her considering the context of the situation.
If she's an unintentional predator and she's preying on minors,
I think that was unintentional. That was unintentional predation. Well, you can but the thing is, mate, something being too expensive is predatory. The definition of predatory extends so far.
Maybe. I don't think that people are considering that. I think that what you meant to say, Dinky, is that it's behavior that can be seen as predatory, but they're without the intention on it. And I think that's a better way to define it, because there's I don't see any intentionality, predatory intentionality, but some of these characteristics could be things that a predator uses to harm somebody. I think that's a better way of like saying it.
If you overprice something, that's predatory behavior. So if I sold a Snickers bar for triple the price I bought it for to a minor, that is me preying upon a minor. It doesn't automatically mean pedophilia.
And when the topic is in regards to self-harm, which the person finds sexual,
again, there's nothing that says that the person finds it sexual. So you just keep making this. You keep saying these things that you don't understand.
Just because she First of all, I don't think that there's any evidence that, or I don't think that there's sufficient evidence that she finds self-harm sexual in all scenarios, no matter what, especially in regards to minor.
I don't think that there's a single scenario where she finds it sexual. Again, the only thing was like, oh, I wish I could find like a boyfriend that would cut themselves for me. Like it's, I don't see that as an like, inherently sexual claim there. I think they're romanticizing it. I don't even know if I believe that they actually do that.
Like if she finds self-harm sexual, I think it's a lot more reasonable to assume, well, because self-harm isn't sexual. All right, hang on. What exactly is your evidence that she sees self-harm as sexual in all cases?
I did not say verbatim all cases because, as you said, it's a very wide definition, self-harm. Okay. I mean, stubborn, your tone on purpose is one, but the way she puts it in the screenshots, carving, cutting, that was very much established. Very much established.
Where was it established that she got some sort of sexual thrill from this?
Sorry?
Where was it established
that it wasn't sexual?
I'm asking.
Well, you have to substantiate your claim.
Asking you the evidence. I'm asking the evidence.
Yeah, the quote, I want someone to carve their name into me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not sexual?
No. No, it's not sexual. It's not. I guess this is what happens when you don't have sex and you don't like know what terms mean. That is not an inherently sexual thing. It's inappropriate, but it doesn't make it sexual. Like wanting somebody to love you so much that they'll carve their name into your arm isn't sexual. It's romanticized and it's inappropriate and it's stupid, but it's not sexual. That's the claim. Sexual. It's not a sexual thing inherently. It might be, but there's nothing else to support that. So you've decided it's sexual. But okay.
Well, it could be, but it also couldn't.
It could be.
It could be.
It also couldn't be. You can apply that to a lot of things, but I think it's just ignorant, purposefully ignorant, to even apply that could be anything other than sexual.
It could be or it couldn't be, but I think it has to be. And if you don't agree with me, you're actually inappropriate. What are you talking about? Do you hear yourself fucking speak?
Especially with this scenario.
Why?
What?
Because the proof's in the pudding. She's made these statements, and
the hey guys, hey, why is this sexual? Because it is. Hey guy, I owned you. This is insane.
Tone of sexual. What about
the what? Sorry, what?
Because the proof's in the pudding. She's made these statements, and the tone of sexual.
This is the tone of sexual, right? So, I don't know if you guys know this. Like, so what makes the tone sexual? Is it that there's no tone in a voice in a chat like this? How is the tone sexual? What are we watching The Sopranos? Hey, tone. What tone? They're texting each other. There's no tone. The tone isn't sexual. The tone is obviously romantic, if anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
What about, okay, since you think it's not sexual, I think it's due. It is, pardon me.
Right, but just to be clear, there's no evidence that it's sexual, so you're just wrong.
JiDion, do you think, I just want to get a third opinion.
What's up?
JiDion. Yeah, do you think the statements she made in regards to the the cutting and I want someone to carve their name into me, is that sexual?
Me personally, like I could see it being a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Like, I could definitely see it being a sexual thing. I could also see it being more of the deprived thing. You know what I mean? It's like someone, you know what I mean? It's like someone like been watching animals be harmed. Is, you know, it could be a sexual thing for them. It could also be just like something sick that they're into. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
this is a really good example. I do wish that JiDion would be a little bolder here, because like what's happening here is that like we saw these messages and the messages were just like, it was weird. It was just weird romantic bullshit, right? So if you read through here, they're having a conversation about like self-harm with somebody, cuddle. So they're having a conversation about being loved. So somebody says someone to, what does this fucking say, dude? It says somebody to tell me that they love me while they cut me, right? That's what that says there. Inappropriate. Somebody says that. Phibz follows it up later on. Somebody says, fuck, this is real, I fear. Aftercare is real. It looks like they're having a conversation. Like this is a public chat. Phibz goes, I want somebody to carve the name into me to prove I am theirs. This isn't inherently sexual. This is romanticizing something very wrong, but this isn't inherently sexual. This is romantic. They are like saying they want a partner to do that. It's like if my wife's like, I really want somebody to hug me. It doesn't make hugging sexual, right? And so like there's a 99-1 that this isn't sexual. Could it be? We need more evidence. We have literally, there's not a single sexual comment that Phibz ever has made in any of these. So love that for, she doesn't even seem to be a very sexual person. So this is romantic. What's happening here is JiDion's being asked a question, and by this 18-year-old Bludspeth, of like, what do you think, JiDion? And JiDion's like, well, basically he's expressing that's a 50-50 while casting doubt. I wish you wouldn't 50-50 cast doubt on this, because it's not 50-50. It's like 99-1 or even 90-10, right? But like you're giving a little too much consideration to this Bludspeth guy instead of being a little firmer and be like, well, listen, it could be that, but it's very unlikely based on the context. That's would be the more appropriate answer. You know, there's an 18-year-old in the room that acts like a 14-year-old when it comes to his interpretation of the world, and then there's two adults that are in there. There's Dankyjabo and there's JiDion. You know, and you guys, I think that you need to be a little more firm, like Danky is. You need to be a little more firm of like, no, I don't think that this is what it is, and this assumption towards the most sensationalized version is like very toxic and I think inappropriate. That I think was what that's what we kind of needs to be said here.
I would say it's more, me personally, where I would come from, I would say it's more sick than it is sexual, but I could definitely see it being
even that. It's like just funny because like when I look at it, I think it's inappropriate, but I don't even think they're being serious. I think that there are a bunch of like little like cringe kids online that are just like, they're just like saying these things because they think it sounds cool, and maybe that's ignorant of me to say, but I don't even think that they're being serious. I think it's a bunch of like kids role playing, like being stupid about it, like not literally role play. I mean, they might actually literally be role playing. I mean, they do role play, but just being like stupid and edgy and thinking that that's like cool. Like, yeah, I punch metal for fun. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it gives me those vibes. Yeah, I punch metal for fun.
Sexual. Does that make sense?
I mean, either way, it's sick, isn't it? Even if she is...
Okay, it doesn't. We're not talking about sick, though. You're calling her a fucking pedophile, bud.
If she does find it sexual, which she does, that's also...
We don't know that. You're just saying things.
So sick.
Well, why do people self-harm?
But you just asked me if it was a sexual thing specifically, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, do you see it as being more sick or do you see it as being more sexual?
No, if you want to call it sick, no one's going to argue with you, mate.
Of course, but I'm also calling it sexual, and some people are arguing against that, which, personally, I don't agree with.
I guess.
No kidding, you don't agree with that.
It's like, I mean, I could definitely see it, like, you know, if that's what you're into, if that's what you get your rocks off, you know, if she's getting her rocks off to that, then yeah, it's sexual, you know? I mean, do you personally think she was getting her rocks off to it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Really? There hasn't been a single... The funniest allegations to me are when a person is being 0% sexual in every capacity, and then someone's like, they're being sexual. They haven't been sexual at all, whatsoever. Now, if you wanted to try to make a claim, well, like, oh, I don't think they're being sexual, but they seems like they had developed romantic feelings over stuff like this, and that's it. We can have that conversation. She wasn't saying it towards any of the people there, though, so that kind of like harms your argument. But you can maybe say that, but like, there's nothing sexual. We're not hearing anything sexual here.
Where's your evidence for that?
So her statements were, I want to carve into someone and kiss the scars. Are you going to say that's not...
Kiss the scars? Where did they see that? Even that doesn't make it sexual. It makes it romantic. I want someone to carve their name into me and prove I'm theirs. What does it mean, kiss the scars? What?
So her statements were, I want to carve into someone and kiss the scars.
Where the fuck is that? Where is that even said in this video? Did you even show that? Is that old or new? I don't understand. That doesn't even matter because that doesn't make it sexual. But what is he talking about? I don't think that he's being accurate. All we're being shown... This is the problem because he never reads the messages either. I want somebody to carve my name into there and prove I'm theirs. She also said that? Where's that? It doesn't really matter because that still doesn't make it sexual. I guess kissing is like inherently sexual to this person. But they're not even like directing it at these people. But okay. Apparently this is what they're referring to?
So two things first. That I want to into someone and kiss the scars.
Okay, that's not inherently sexual.
And I want to someone's initials onto my body.
Okay, got it.
I'm very ashamed I ever said that. Because, first of all, people are very sensitive to stuff like SH and all that. And I was not in the right headspace at the time. And it doesn't excuse my behavior, but I do also want to bring up that in that chat that they were, like, talking about, everyone in that chat was talking about that sort of thing, but it also doesn't excuse any action of it.
Got it. So there's a bunch of people in the Discord talking about cutting and kissing and being stupid. And this was like a year ago? Okay, got it. Cool. I mean, okay. Nothing proves that it's sexual. It's concerning behavior. But I guess we need to... It's funny because there literally is no other sexual anythings in this. Again, you could be like, well, I think it's romantic. It doesn't have to be sexual, by the way, to be pedophilia. You know, it could just be romantic. What if they have a romantic attraction in children? Wouldn't that also be a problem? But it has to be sexual to them, right? Everything has to be sexual. The reason that's what the problem is, and nothing really directs this towards sexual, but it could direct it towards romantic, and romantic is still wrong. Having romantic feelings for a child is still wrong. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because they don't understand that. They don't understand any of the things that they're saying. It has to be sexual to them, and so they're looking for it to be sexual. They're not reliable narrators in these conversations. They don't really know what it is that they're referring to, because they're young and they don't really they don't get it. So to them, it has to be pedophilia because they're uncomfortable with it, and that means it has to be sexual. So they look for it to be sexual. That's the problem here.
Are you gonna say that's not sexual?
Yeah, but
if she said kiss, then I would say maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what she said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what she said.
A lot of people say things like that, but don't genuinely. Like, do you think that she genuinely wants to do that? Do you really think she wants to genuinely carve her name into someone and kiss the scars?
Honestly, probably not. But either way, it doesn't make it sexual.
Well, it's very clearly a sexual fantasy.
No, it's not. It's not clearly a sexual fantasy.
Okay, all right, fine.
It doesn't matter if she genuinely...
No, don't find that. Don't say like, oh, okay. No, well, I'm not trying to shit on Dankyjabo. But it's not clearly a sexual thing. Oh, there we go.
But Vance was committing self-harm upon themselves, right? Had nothing to do had nothing to do with Phibz. All Phibz did was reply with ooh.
Showing interest, yeah. And to
well, ooh doesn't mean that it's showing interest. So I don't know where you're getting that from. They could have just been like, oh, ooh, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
harm, which it's established that she finds sexual, right?
No, it's not established.
She replied with ooh.
You said yourself that shows interest.
Yeah, it shows she's in. It could mean so many things. Even me saying it shows interest is an assumption. Like, we don't know exactly what was going through her head in that moment. But it's not as though Vance shared any pictures of the self-harm or anything along those lines. It was just
because
Vance.
that was their second day of talking. You understand that?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not saying she is a groomer, but with
No,
that
Yes, you are. What are you talking about? You're literally saying she's a groomer. What are you talking about? What?
But hang on. You're saying she's a pedophile.
Yeah.
You're saying she's attracted to minors.
Yes. That is different from the act of grooming.
Wow, that is so true. But like, wouldn't she need to groom the children first? What?
Sure.
Which is very commonly used by pedophiles. And if someone were to argue that she was, I wouldn't exactly not see any reasoning behind it. But on the second day, you're arguing that there's no full measures, I guess that's a way to put it. But they were talking for literally a day or two at that point, which even just that, someone you just started talking to, 14-year-old at 19, is crazy. Ooh. Expressing interest also.
What do you mean by talking to? They were in like a public Discord. Wow. They were in like a public Discord together, and then they started having like private conversations. It doesn't mean it's inherently sexual. It's definitely inappropriate. I think that we've gone through the ringer as to like what's wrong with like in general, but nothing else shows sexual. It sounds like they were both depressed little minors that have like problems. Well, at one point, right? She's not a minor anymore. And that she was trying to be like, oh, okay, I can maybe help you with advice. Because they were like talking about stuff. And then that seemed to freak the Vance person out, that they were like having these conversations and like everything was good when they were going through like their mental break. And then they got like really nervous and anxious and then like removed Phibz because they felt like embarrassed in some capacity. Or maybe because they saw the fucking messages from like a bunch of 18-year-old like fucking Lolcow harassers and they're like, wait a minute, Phibz actually is a predator. I'm so scared. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to assign like a sexual, like some kind of a sexual thing to this when I don't think there's any sexual anything. I think Phibz is probably well intentioned, but it's inappropriate because she shouldn't be in that role. But I don't think that she's like, I'm going to go in this role so I can harm this person. It's like, oh, I'm being inappropriate. I'm being like ignorant. They didn't realize they were being ignorant.
Is crazy, and especially when it's a topic that we have established she finds sexual. We haven't.
This guy's insufferable. I would just end the conversation at this point. It's like, what is the point?
Yeah, she shouldn't have been doing it. It was very inappropriate. It was very dangerous. She shouldn't be talking to minors that way. It was very irresponsible.
Sexually, right?
But she wasn't talking to them sexually. Hang on, wait, JiDion, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Didn't Vance tell you that nothing sexual happened in those messages?
The messages that Vance sent to me, the private messages that I went through, I didn't see anything sexual, and Vance told me that nothing sexual happened. Or Vance told me that they just felt weird, but nothing sexual or anything like that. They just felt weird.
Yeah, of course it's weird. It's like weird is an understatement. It's fucking disgusting what was going on there. But if Vance himself...
To be absolutely honest with you, I wouldn't even say it's fucking disgusting. I think it's very inappropriate and wrong. But I wouldn't even give that much credibility to the situation. I think disgusting implies that there's some kind of like extra predatory element there. I think it's inappropriate and like stupid and could be potentially like harmful to the person. But I wouldn't say fucking disgusting. I don't think Phibz is fucking disgusting. I think that's sometimes like, you know, I wouldn't talk in ways that gives charity to some of these narratives, because that's what it feels like in general. It's like, oh, we're like, yeah, it's not pedophilia because it's obviously not. It's not sexual, it's obviously not, but it's still really disgusting. It's like, oh, it's really inappropriate and it could lead to something wrong, but it doesn't seem like anybody was harmed, which is a good thing, but it doesn't mean that the action should continue. Right? That's kind of where I would go. I feel like sometimes people in general, I'm not trying to like shit my pants, feel like they have to give a little more charity to people that they're arguing with. You know, just to seem credible. You know, this is a situation where it's like, oh, it's inappropriate, but like, I don't think that the world's fucking burning down. You know what I mean?
Himself is saying that there was nothing sexual behind those messages. Then are you calling them a liar or something? Like, what is your point exactly?
Well, that's referring to sex, like sexual acts, as opposed to something
Wasn't that what you're referring to?
that Phibz finds sexual, self-harm.
What?
So those are two different
We don't know that, but okay.
things that there weren't any yet. Like, we don't know what could have happened if they kept talking. I mean, I dread to think of the possibilities, but they didn't say something sexual at that point. They said something in regards to a topic that Phibz fetishizes and finds sexual,
You're just saying that, okay.
which Phibz expressed interest in, which is my point.
So you're arguing that that Vance coincidentally sent something into the messages that Phibz just so happened to find sexual, and because Phibz didn't interact with the message the right way, they're a pedophile.
Coincidentally?
Well, yeah, it's not as though Phibz asked them to send the self-harm messages, is it?
That's true.
Well, they told him to vent.
What is this, Among Us? Sorry, so your logic is Phibz was like, oh, you can vent to me if you need to, because the person was going through something. And then this minor was like, well, I've been self-harming, and Phibz is... What is Phibz supposed to do at that point? Go, no! Fuck you! Like, what do you say when you're in that like delicate situation? Which is another reason why you shouldn't be a young person trying to like be in like that type of a role. Because like you may not know the right thing to say. Like if somebody tells you like, "Oh, I'm self-harming," and you're like, you're also young and ignorant, and you might deal with it the wrong way, right? So that's another reason why you shouldn't be interacting like that, even though there's nothing sexual there. But they said to vent, so the person vents about their self-harm, and you're immediately like, "Oh, they." Like that you thought that was they're like, yes, please be self-harming, and like crossing their fingers and like praying to God. Like, what are you talking? What's your argument?
Right. I guess that's Phibz trying to help in her own fucked up way.
Yeah, it is. And
it's not even like a fucked up way. It's just like she's trying to help in the way of like trying to be a friend for somebody. The issue isn't the friendship. The issue is the age gap, right? That's the issue. And actually, specifically, it's not even the age gap or the friendship necessarily. It's also the atmosphere that we're in. Like I said, like if you're doing some kind of like mentor program, you know, Boy Scouts or Big Brother, Big Sister program, whatever, something like that, that would be maybe more of an appropriate to be like, oh, I'm 17 and I'm friends with like a 13-year-old, 19 and I'm friends with a 13-year-old because I'm part of the Big Brother program, part of it, you know what I mean? But that's a facilitated, appropriate atmosphere for that because you have adults that are curating that experience in some way to make sure things that aren't going like poorly and that there's no inappropriate interaction, right? That's like a big part of it too. So the real problem is that there's no curation with their friendship between like adults in some capacity, right? So you know that's really the big major issue there, but it doesn't mean that anything predatory happened.
And as a result of that, the minor talked about self-harm topics, very graphic, and which is something that, as we've established, Phibz finds sexual. And
this guy's such a freak. He has to keep saying it. He's just like, bro, this guy's like your average Andrew Wilson enjoyer. He just continuously says something and he's hoping that it will just become true. Like it's like Beetlejuice. If I say it 300 times, it becomes true.
And she responded with interest in and kept the conversation going. Maybe they didn't express.
What do you do after someone's like, "Oh, I used to self-harm," or "I feel like self-harming"? Do you just say, "Oh, I can't talk to you about this"? Like that's like you kind of have to at that point because they're already opening up to you. And you're like, "Oh, fuck." Like what's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to you about that." That's crazy. What ends up happening? That fucking minor gets like really upset and like that. What is that? Is that good? Like what? That you're kind of just in a shitty position at that point. You know, you put yourself in there, but like you're kind of there. You can't just be like, "Oh, we're not talking about that." You know.
Honestly, continue and talk about details. But again, it was their second day talking.
Well, she didn't respond sexually though, did she?
She expressed interest.
Right, but
what is the ooh? That's interest. I don't think that is interest. I think that they were awkward and weirded out by it, and they didn't know what else to say.
You're assuming that there was sexual interest there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Wait. So it is an assumption.
Yeah. Can you please just?
Of course. Go ahead, mate. My bad.
It's all right. I'm saying she expressed interest into this minor talking about something that we've established she finds sexual.
Okay.
That's my point, and that's my reasoning as to why I believe she's a pedophile.
Got it.
Okay. I mean, I personally think it just strengthens the cases that she shouldn't be around minor-heavy communities, and that she shouldn't have had this Discord, and that she shouldn't be interacting with minors, and that she just shouldn't be on the internet to begin with. That's what
I don't agree with that. I don't think that she needs to be like completely pushed out of the internet. You know, I think that they can be on the internet. I just think that they need to interact a little more responsibly in their Discord.
I think those messages show. I think that calling her a pedophile based on those messages, especially exclusively based on those messages, is fucking ridiculous. And I think it waters down the definition of pedophile to such a inappropriate extent. And I think also when you throw terms around like pedophile, it muddies the waters so much that the entire discussion becomes around the word pedophile, and it detracts massively from the genuinely disgusting things that are being done here by Phibz, such as the romanticization of self-harm, such as having all these minors in the Discord. We can't talk about any of that anymore because all of a sudden, now all we're talking about is pedophilia and whether or not Phibz is a pedophile, which I just don't think there's any evidence for whatsoever.
Yeah, there is no evidence.
I mean, I will say all my videos have been about her actions. They weren't about why I believe she's a pedophile. I mean, yeah, I'm calling her one. But
they're about her actions, but not why she is one. That just sounds ridiculous. I can't believe that you said that. You sound ridiculous.
It wasn't centered around that word. The only topic I've seen about it is with your response. That's when the conversation started.
What do you mean?
They seem to be arguing that what?
Like with your response to Pooh Boy.
Yeah, but you're saying to me here that you think she's a pedophile.
Yeah, I do. But I'm saying that my videos were about her actions and not just revolving around that specific word, as you said.
Your last video on Phibz, I can share my screen, it says pedo exposed.
Yeah, but it's not about the word, as you said. I was talking about her actions and how they're problematic.
But you're calling her a pedophile. What, I don't even understand this argument. This is insane.
One before it was pedo responds. The one before that one was chopped pedo.
Yeah, that's the thumbnail. But in the actual video, the important part, I talk about their actions. And
okay, so I just want to be absolutely clear. What you're admitting here is, yeah, I lie in my thumbnails for attention. But that's just a thumbnail. You shouldn't take anything that I say as fact in my thumbnails. Because it's just a thumbnail. So it's just like a fun time. Okay. Great. So guys, you can't trust his thumbnails. They're not accurate. Just to be clear, apparently all of his content is just clickbaiting you into clicking on his videos. Okay.
Not just the single word that you say I did.
Of course, but you're talking about how those actions make her a pedophile.
Yeah, but I'm not revolving the discussion around that word. I'm revolving the discussion around her actions.
I'm not saying that you specifically are revolving the discussion around the word. I'm saying that when you throw that word out there, that's what the discussion becomes about. Because it sort of nulls and voids every potential allegation that comes before it, because it is by far the most damning one. When you call someone a pedophile, no one cares about self-harm. When you call someone a pedophile, no one gives a fuck about the weird jokes made to minors. They care about the pedophile.
No, remember he said he wouldn't clickbait something like that? Yeah, of course. This guy, these people are hopeless, dude. I think one thing people should realize is that like people like this are just like fucking hopeless. And it makes you should know that like not all criticism is created equally. When people like this criticize you, you should just like know like, oh, this person is a deeply unserious person. Like they're just deeply unserious. They don't really know what they're talking about. There's no reason to get like super worked up if somebody like this criticizes you because they have no idea what they're saying.
Claim, because that is by far the most important one. That's why I think it's so harmful to over-exaggerate the claim. Pardon?
I mean, that's all we've been talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, of course that's all we've been talking about, because that's what I mainly disagree with you on, is the fact that she's a pedophile.
Yeah, and again, but you were the one who started the discussion. I didn't see anyone arguing about that.
Okay. What? What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay.
Until people start saying that Phibz was innocent, which just is a whole other can of worms, to be honest with you.
People are only saying that Phibz is innocent because people are labeling her a pedophile. If the claim was as simple as she was acting inappropriately and disgustingly around minors, no one would be calling her innocent because it's very difficult to disagree with those claims based on the evidence provided. If someone disagrees with those claims, then, I don't know, you either have to be trying really hard or you just have to be an idiot. But when you start throwing around the term pedophile, that's when the term innocent comes around. Like if you ask JiDion why... Pardon?
Came from JiDion.
Yeah, of course.
That's
because
when everyone started calling her.
Yes, but because
she's innocent of being a pedophile. That's the argument. Yes.
People were calling her a pedophile, and JiDion...
What you said?
We're talking about the people calling her innocent, and I said that you said that she was innocent, which is what started the discussion.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I saw a lot of people even before all of that saying that, but it's just, whenever, if you don't do what I do and you're saying that, you're just gonna be called a pedo or a pedo defender, and so obviously those videos aren't gonna get as much sauce like what's his face, But the point that I was getting at is like Danky, he made his video saying that she wasn't a pedophile even before I made my video, and that's what made him even react to my video because he went in thinking that I was gonna have like the same thing. And I mean, I think you can going into it from what I knew before. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I really did think she was a pedo, and I feel like it would have been really easy to go with that. And I feel like the situation's more where if you think she's a pedo, you're gonna keep on thinking she's a pedo. You know what I mean? And then it's if you hear the evidence and you really think it out and you change your mind. Like, I came to the same conclusion that I think she's a weirdo, but
I don't think that she's. I mean, I guess she's a little weird, but she's some fucking kid with a disability.
Personally, pedophile, that's a whole different can of worms. But I think it's just to each their own, and it shouldn't be a to each their own situation. When it comes to pedophilia, it really needs to be cut and dry. Like, is this person a pedophile? Yes or no?
I agree with that. I wish that you would be more expressive of that because you're saying, you're saying he's wrong without really saying he's wrong. He's like, he did 2 + 2, he came to 5, and you're like, well, some people come to that conclusion, and I really, I don't know about that, but so I would just, be a little more firm with this guy.
No, and I think the fact that it is to each their own situation is bad.
It is not to each their own situation. I think you're being too charitable to these people. I think they like, you have a little bit of a people pleasing in you too much, and maybe that's what makes you a popular content creator, because he's a good, like, not a bad content creator. I'm not saying that, but it's a little too people pleasing. I think this is a good moment to stand firm and be like, there's nothing there. It even insinuates pedophilia. I think that's fair to stand firm on that point.
Bad on both ends, because if she is a pedophile, then you got people thinking that she's not a pedophile, and then if she isn't a pedophile, then you got people saying that she is a pedophile. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
But I think it reflects badly on Lolcow YouTube as a whole, because I think YouTubers like Bludspeth and Poofal, whoever his name is,
Poo Boy.
What is it? Poo what?
Boy.
Poo Boy, that's it. Are almost financially rewarded for being exceptionally lazy with their callouts. I think
absolutely.
Term pedophile. I think the accusation of pedophile is really lazy. I think it's a cop-out. I think it's a word that is being used because you don't want to actually engage with the nuance of the conversation.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's because they can make money off it. It has to be sensationalized. That's what the whole thing is.
I mean, if you were to say that people throw that term around too loosely, I definitely do agree. But
you are one of those people, yes.
For Phibs' case, that's where I kind of don't agree.
Yes, because you're a hypocrite coward. That's why. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like I said this earlier, did I not? These are the types of people who complain that there are people who misuse words online, like fucking rapist or pedophile or predator. But not when they do it. When they do it, it's actually completely appropriate. They're doing it right. Everybody else is the one that's the problem. Of course. How did I ever think of that? Holy fuck! I never would have thought that would be an excuse you'd use. Yeah, they are part of the problem, but they don't realize that they're part of the problem because they're actually correct. They have the same perspective as everybody else who makes false accusations online.
But I mean, we've established that.
I mean, me personally, like, ever since I said what I said about Phibs, I saw people on TikTok calling me a pedophile. I see people on TikTok calling me a pedophile, So it's just like, what I've noticed, and, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you probably see the same. I noticed that mostly all the people that's calling Phibs a pedophile, they're either, like, in their teens or younger. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they're children, yeah. But there are so many parents who watch this guy's video, this 18-year-old Lolcow obsessed fucking terminally online kid with no real friends, of course. The only friends he probably has are inside of this like Lolcow harassment community. And he's like afraid of losing his friends too. It's like, I have to say this. Fucking Poopy Boy won't be my fucking friend if I don't call her a pedophile. Fuck. What am I supposed to do?
Newer kids and stuff like that, or younger kids. And, definitely, since I started EDP Watch, like in my emails, I get kids emailing me all the time, like, oh, yo, I'm 17, and there's this 19. Obviously, I know the Phibs situation is different, but like I'll have people be like, oh, I'm 17, and this 19-year-old's hitting me up. He's a pedo, come expose him and stuff like that. And it's just like,
yeah, the atmosphere online is fucking insane.
And a majority of these people that are in my email saying that, they're the same people out here making TikToks and different stuff. And I mean, the only difference is where other people are saying what they're saying. There's fake screenshots going on around her and stuff like that. Bludspeth, you're like, one of the only people that like really know as much of the situation as anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, you know more about the situation than me.
I think that's insane to say. This guy doesn't know anything. This guy thinks that I can't believe it's not butter is actually butter. Like this is who this guy is. Like don't say that. Don't jerk him off. Don't stroke his ego to make we don't need fucking 10 spoons full of sugar to let the medicine go down here. You know what I mean? You could be nice to him without having to fucking, give him a reach around.
And yeah,
not really though. He didn't know about the CSAM just being a 17-year-old anime picture.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, when so me personally, Bludspeth, like your first video, and I told Bludspeth this like off cam, like his first video, I wasn't really convinced that she was a pedo, but it was until his second video where it was the conversation, the role playing with when he was talking about her role playing with minors. That's when I was like, okay. And then when he was talking about her defending one of her friends that had CSAM, that's why I had made up in my mind like, oh damn, like she really is on that timing. And then I learned about the CSAM stuff, and I was like, oh, so that's what that was. I was like, okay. And then I read the role play myself. And I was just like, oh, so that's why I said what I said. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. I definitely see your point. I did see the talk about the Naruto screenshots, but I guess I shouldn't have believed Phibs because she said that he was defending CP. And I mean, she told me again after, so.
No, and you didn't look into it.
Yeah, you should have looked into it. That's the first thing I did when I saw that allegation. I'm like, what are they talking about, CP? It's fucking Naruto stuff. Give me a break, dude.
I did look into it, but one screenshot doesn't explain the whole.
If you looked into it, then you would have known that it was about an anime picture.
That was one screenshot.
What's that thing?
Yeah, but everything is based on that one screenshot. What we've learned today is that Phibz is not media trained because they didn't actually like CSAM or anything or defend anybody that liked CSAM. But people were claiming that. So they were like, oh, people were claiming this. That's literally it. Like, she's not media trained to be like, well, it wasn't CSAM. That was bullshit. That's it.
Called when like you can't trust the narrator of a story. You know what that literary device is called?
Something
It's called Bludspeth speaking.
about pathetic fallacy or something like that. I'm not too unreliable narrator. I'm not sure there's a specific word for it.
Yeah. Unreliable narrator. Yeah. So, me personally, like when I talked to Phibz, I didn't feel any like deceit or anything coming from her. And kind of when she describes situations, like what at least I noticed is when she recounts it in the worst possible way possible. But then when I find out what happened from other sources, like when you played the video of her saying that she was role playing with minors, you know, I'm over here and she admitted like, yes, I was role playing with minors. I'm over here thinking the worst, like, oh my gosh, she's role playing with minors. What the hell? But then the minor in question sends me the video or all the screenshots, and I'm reading the role play, and I'm just like, you know,
Well, the role plays were almost all in calls, as the minor said.
Yeah, but the minor also.
I don't even think I agree with that because that makes no sense. Because literally, it's what's funny about that. I don't even think I would ever agree with that because of what they showed in their own video was Phibz like wanting to do RP inside of like text, and the person trying a different person trying to get them into a call. So I don't even think that they would do that. And even if a lot of them were, it's very clearly not something that Phibz wants to do. And the reason that's important is because then it shows that it doesn't show a pattern of Phibz trying to do it on calls, so they can't be so the screenshots don't exist, but you can still record them, but the screenshots wouldn't exist. So she's not even like trying to, I'm going to do them on calls so that I can do that. They're not even doing that. They want to do them in text.
Wait, no, but the minor also said that nothing sexual happened.
And my point is that Phibz,
My point is, I think they're a pedophile, and I literally cannot be wrong. I'm terrified of being wrong. I'm going to double down.
found something sexual with the minor.
Yeah.
What?
But there's no evidence for that. That is a pure assumption. Like you're saying that because I don't want to assume why you're. But it's not really based on evidence, though. It is an assumption.
It is based on evidence.
It's based on two messages of her saying ooh.
No, it's based on
Ooh.
also the screenshots from before that establish a precedent that she finds self-harm sexual.
Oh my god, dude, this guy's exhausting. Holy fuck, it's like talking into a fucking asshole.
Okay, can we talk? So I'm remembering specific screenshots of what her saying, carve the name and kiss the carvings or something along those lines.
Scars, yep.
The scars. Let's actually go on your channel and try to have a look at these. I do believe you. From what I remember, I do think those were the messages. But I just don't think it's too relevant during the Vans conversation. I just don't think it's relevant to the Vans conversation at all.
At 6 minutes.
It's all good. I'm not like, I believe you. I don't need to.
No, I'm just making it easier for you to look up.
Okay, sure, but I don't think it's relevant to the Vans conversation at all.
Well, I feel that it establishes a precedent about Phibs' sexual attractions and is applicable in her later conversations.
Well, just because she's sexually attracted to self-harm, that doesn't mean that she's that doesn't mean
There's
that
nothing says that she's sexually attracted to self-harm. Everything indicates that if you take her seriously, that she has a romanticized version of it, and that it's not like a sexual thing. And then the conversation that she's having with the other person about their self-harm, she doesn't even have a sexual conversation with them. None of this like matters at all.
she's sexually attracted to minors.
So I guess one thing I have to say is, do you see it as
just because somebody has like a sexual attraction to like balloons and someone starts talking about a balloon doesn't like mean that person is having a sexual conversation with them. You know what I mean? That's, you know, it's this whole situation is so fucking dumb.
if someone says they don't think Phibz is a pedophile, that's them defending her?
No, I think they have a different point of view, and I get that, but
I think she's a pedophile, but if you don't think so, it's just a different point of view. Wow, nothing screams, I don't really believe what I'm saying, like, that. Yeah, I think she's a pedophile, threat to children, she wants to rape kids. She wants to rape kids, and she's a groomer, by the way. But if you disagree with me, I think that's just kind of a nice, healthy difference of opinion. If I thought somebody was a fucking pedophile, rapist, groomer, I'm not going to have that take. Your take, just by how like you have zero convictions in your take, just shows to me that like you don't even believe it yourself. Like you don't even believe your own take. What? Like what?
I disagree.
Okay.
Do you see us as like pedophile defenders because of our opinion?
Not with Phibs, no.
Why?
Why?
Well, I think you don't believe she's a pedophile. It's not like you're defending a pedophilic. It's not like you're defending, being attracted to minors. I see you have a different point of view. Personally, I disagree. And I didn't
watch Ku's video, but like kind of like from the title, like I seen, it kind of seems like he was saying or I don't even know if it's he. It kind of just felt like they were saying, what?
Very trans affirming. Get JiDion, thank you.
We were pedophile defenders. Is that what happened, Danky, in the video? You watched it, right?
Yeah, he calls us disgusting pigs at the end as well. I don't think he explicitly says pedophile defenders, but...
Whoa, I guess I have to watch that now, huh? August is going to have a lot of work when she comes back, dude. A lot of work. How many videos on Trump does this guy have? I don't know. But there's certainly more evidence that Trump's a fucking pedophile rapist than there is that Phibz is, so I don't know. If anything, this guy would think that Trump's trying to poach Phibz's fucking people. My God, Phibz is not going to be able to get to those children because Trump is already going after them.
I mean, like me personally, like I don't know, like I just try to look at it like, what benefit do I get from not trying to get Phibz? I'm not talking about you, Bludspeth, but like just in general, like
that's a good argument. Like he's a guy who catches pedophiles. What benefit does he get out of saying that this person isn't a pedophile? Like, if anything, people would be really upset with him over that. And he still had that take. Like, he's like JiDion looks for pedophiles. Like, that's his whole thing. That's his entire content base. So if he found somebody and he's like, well, this person doesn't seem like a pedophile, that would actually lend more credibility to the case.
It's I'm not.
Actually, it would be a great question to be like, why do you think I'm not thinking? Why do you think I don't think that she's a pedophile? The guy who makes money off of catching pedophiles. Like, what do you think is different there? Like, you know what I mean? That would have been a good question.
Getting a fan base or anything from, oh yeah, no, it's not like I'm on Michael Jackson's team and I'm saying, oh yeah, he's not a pedo and I'm getting money.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. If you want to argue that, I mean, it's your channel, it's your platform. You can absolutely do whatever you want with it. But
he's just not understanding the point that's being made. He just doesn't have it in him.
I mean, the topic at hand is whether or not she's a pedophile, and we're just looking at the
evidence. Oh, yeah. No, exactly.
He just doesn't get what JiDion's saying. He just doesn't understand basic things. He can't comprehend the idea that JiDion has a channel about exposing predators, and that like he found somebody and he wants to find predators. That's his whole content, and yet he found this person's actions to not be predatory. He can't fathom that argument. He doesn't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to him whatsoever. He just cannot comprehend this argument.
I've got a question. If I thought that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't a pedophile, would you call me a pedo defender?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and the reason why is because Jeffrey Epstein is a pedophile, and me saying that he's not would be defending pedophiles, yeah?
Because there's millions of files showing that he had sex with children.
Right, so you're saying because
there's proof. There's proof. There's no proof that this person, though, that Phibz is a pedophile.
Level of evidence for Jeffrey Epstein is so high, it'd be a lot more defensive of pedophilia to claim that he's not a pedophile, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, fine. So at least you're acknowledging that with Phibz, the evidence isn't so overwhelming, it's weak enough to where not seeing her as a pedophile is a completely reasonable take.
I think it's ratio maybe 70-30, no, 80-20. I could
70-30, okay.
See, with that, I can actually like see the line of reasoning behind it. I don't agree with it at all, but I see it, which just shows that you don't defend pedophilia. But I'm saying with Phibz, in my opinion, from what I've seen and what a lot of people agree with, there is enough evidence to say.
Well, a lot of people agree with it, so it has to be true. Holy fuck, guys. Chad, you remember a lot of people agree with slavery? That was crazy. But I guess, I mean, they agreed with it, so fuck. Must be correct, I guess. I don't know.
Say that she engaged in sexual conversations with a minor.
Right, well, the number of people who agree with something doesn't dictate the validity of the claim, just to be clear.
Absolutely, sure, yeah.
Absolutely. I did literally make that claim, Danky, but absolutely, you're actually correct. Okay. Great, so we're just like, what are we doing here? What the fuck is happening? You know?
Right, so it's your opinion here that matters. Especially because you're the one with the platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't think this is going to go anywhere then, because there's just a fundamental disagreement in terms of you believing those messages are pedophilic or that she's attracted to minors because of them. I don't think I'll be able to have a discussion about you or with you.
That's fair.
Well,
I wish it ended here.
I do have a question.
Yep.
Do you think that she finds self-harm sexual?
No.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nope.
So
I don't think Phibz finds anything sexual. Phibz doesn't even seem like a sexual person.
When presented with a screenshot where she says, I want to carve into someone, then kiss their scars, is that sexual?
No, that's not inherently sexual. That's a romantic thing.
I think it's a gross romanticization of self-harm.
But you don't think it's sexual?
Well,
No.
It's not that I think it's not sexual, it's that I don't know. It's that the evidence isn't strong enough. That's one message sent from a very mentally ill, socially inept child a couple months ago.
A grown adult. But
18
18's not grown. Don't get the fuck out of here.
is not a grown adult.
yes, 18 years old is the deadline where you become an adult.
Actually, 18 is the deadline where you become an adult. You're a child. You're a literal child. You're not an adult. You are a child. You're an 18-year-old is a child. You are a legal adult, but you're acting like a kid. Like, what are you talking about? You should. Like, the only thing that makes people not hate you is the fact that you are a child. And people are like, this fucking dumb kid is dumb as shit online. There's no idea what the fuck he's talking about. But okay, if you say so.
Okay, well, I guess if you want to play fast
responsibility.
and loose with definitions, sure, but I personally don't see 18 as grown adult. Especially
Well, I mean, if you personally don't see it.
especially when you're as mentally ill as Phibz is. She's been held back from high school twice. Like, she's very much not the...
I wouldn't use the word mentally ill. I would say she's somebody with an IDD, like an intellectual or developmental disability. Like, she's somebody in the IDD community. Mentally ill just has like a lot of weight to bear. And I also don't think, like, when I hear mentally ill, I hear and maybe this is just my interpretation, but I think myself and a lot of people hear, like, you know, they have a very serious mental health issue or mental illness. They don't have a serious, like a super serious one. They have like they have autism. They have like delayed learning. You know, their brain may not necessarily be operating, may have like for lack of a better term, like a lower brain age, which seems to kind of be the case. They struggle with like social situations on top of like an atmosphere, you know, a terminally ill in an atmosphere. But I wouldn't say like severely mentally ill. I don't think that somebody needs to be severely mentally ill. I think that she has social struggles, you know,
mental capacity of the average 19-year-old.
She could also have a late birthday, but that also is, we don't know exactly much. I mean, she's 19 in high school. Okay. Doesn't exactly mean anything. You said that
it doesn't mean anything.
Proves how mentally disabled she is. Personally, I don't.
Well,
agree.
It doesn't prove it.
You don't agree. It doesn't. This is the problem. There's nothing for you to agree with. Like, we're having a factual conversation. You don't understand a single thing. This is what the problem with these fucking Lolcow morons, like Lolcow obsession morons. They don't understand anything. They don't understand. They have no real world understanding of mental health issues. They just don't understand. They just don't. They just say things like, "Oh, well, I know they have." This is the thing. Like, these people are like, "Why they have autism?" But they're basically the same as everybody else. Autism to these people doesn't exist. This is one of the things that drives me fucking crazy. Is because these are the types of people where you'll be like, "Hey, listen, this is like an 18-year-old with autism, and that's going to cause their to develop differently. They may be behind a little bit mentally. They might be 18, but they might have like a brain age closer to 15 years old, which is a real thing, like a cognitive test. This is a real thing that behavioral specialists and social workers do. They do cognitive tests to see these things, and they're like, "Well, I just don't agree that autism would do that." So then, what the fuck is autism to you? Autism doesn't exist to them. They don't get it. It's so convenient. Autism is just a silly little thing. It's just a word. It doesn't mean anything. There's no struggles with having autism. It's just a word we use for fun online. They don't think autism is real when they say stuff like this. Like, it's fucking stupid. That's it. So, I just don't agree with that. Okay, well, you don't have to. You're a child, and you're wrong. You're a child that's wrong. So that's it.
That's one variant of a multivariate equation that dictates how mentally ill she is. There's plenty of other...
Well, that's what you said, so...
From what she told me, she's at what? She said that she was at a 4th grade reading level?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's in high school.
Oh, fuck, I'm coming. Well, she's at a 4th grade reading level. Well, she's in high school. Wow. Well, that's compelling commentary from the... like, compelling stuff, man. Well, but wait, I can't... Wait, she's at a 4th grade reading level. She's in high school. What is this? I don't... How do these things make sense? I don't... your brain is frying on basic information. Clearly, she's in a different type of classes. Like, do you think that you would keep her in the 4th grade? Do you think that that's the way that you would help somebody with a disability? Is by just hold them back? No, you would have different types of classes and different types of expectations for this person, and you would give them different types of supports in society, which is what people do all the time. There is massive mental health care infrastructure that centralizes around these things that you are just, and I mean massive, like Ninja, dude, massive like Ninja. There are massive billions of dollars of your taxpayer money that I would hope that you're paying, unless you don't know how to do that because you're a kid, is going to these things to help people with disabilities navigate in society. This is a thing that exists, whether you understand it or not. And you should understand it because your money goes to it. Your fucking money goes to it. Your actual dollars go to it. It's like if you own a car but you drive on the fucking grass. You're like, what's a road? What is a road? I don't know what roads are. You just don't understand what roads are. And you're just like, I just don't agree with you. Okay, it doesn't matter what you think. It's like, you're so fucking wrong. It's insane. You should educate yourself on where your tax dollars are going. Your money is going to things. Educate yourself on what these things mean. You're online all day. Fucking just do something productive.
So clearly, it's not completely holding her back.
But I mean, they're not going to have a 19-year-old in
you can still have
a
fourth grade
elementary school.
You can still have a fourth grade reading level in high school.
I guess that is a possibility in some circumstances, yeah.
Oh, really? Do you think it's a possibility in this circumstance where this is actually literally happening? I guess it could be real in some circumstances. It's literally is real. This is what's happening. You can't even grant that it is happening. You have to grant that maybe it could be kind of happening. What are we doing? What are we doing, dude? What the fuck are we doing here? What?
But the main reason I even made that community post was just the whole response to Pooh Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I personally really don't agree with the way you acted in it.
Wow.
I'm just gonna
Well, you're gonna hate how I act in it then.
show a few examples. At one point, there was a screenshot. I don't know if you remember the tickle my pickle thing.
Oh,
that
yeah,
Phibz
yeah,
said. Yeah. And on the screenshot, very clear, the context provided said it was about a minor.
Yep.
But you still, I'm not assuming, like, I want to assume that you're malicious.
I
don't
dismissed
think
it.
you are.
I remember the clip. I know the tickle my pickle message. I think it was a really gross thing to say, a very inappropriate joke to make towards a minor.
Just fucking tickle my pickle. That's usually what I say when I'm ready to have sex with my wife, guys. Like, what the fuck? They say tickle my pickle?
But do I genuinely believe that she went up and masturbated over the thought of this minor? No.
Is that the only qualifying factor in being inappropriate towards a minor, whether they masturbate or not?
No, dude. Dude, I love this. Is like the fucking whole conversation, right? Hey, Phibz said use the term tickle my pickle in a silly way. Dankyjabo. Yeah, I think that's really inappropriate. They shouldn't do that. And I don't think it's sexual at all, or they masturbated with the minor in the Discord, which is like a couple of years younger than them. And then this guy's like, oh, so you don't think it's inappropriate? Oh my God. This is the whole fucking conversation. It's literally like Dankyjabo, like this guy lays out his entire perspective, easy for anybody to hear. You could be fucking deaf and understand what he's saying. And this guy's like, wait, so you're saying that it's not true? That's the whole conversation. It's like a fucking brick wall. That's the whole conversation.
No, it was a very inappropriate sexual joke made towards a minor.
So what do you call someone who says inappropriate things to a minor?
I would call them.
I'd call him a rapist, pedophile. We should arrest Phibz. What do you mean? What do you call somebody who makes it inappropriate? Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. What do you call somebody who makes an inappropriate joke to a minor? Probably their uncle. That's what I would call it. You want to know what? Like, I just want you guys to know this. I know you're all fucking, like, these people are brain broken. Making inappropriate jokes to minors doesn't mean it's predatory. You should avoid it because it could turn predatory in some circumstances, but it doesn't mean that it's predatory at all. Okay? That's what it is. That's all it is. You guys are so fucking brain warped. You're looking for people to be predators. These are the types of people, they start masturbating when a fucking Lolcow rapes somebody. Like they want somebody to be raped so that they can report on and go, yes, see, look at this. I'm so happy. I'm making money today. I love this. That's what they are. They want it to happen. They want somebody to get hurt. They're like looking for it. And if it doesn't happen, they have to just make it happen. They got to pretend that it happened. That's what they are. They're compromised. Don't listen to these people. They're fucking insane.
Someone who's very inappropriate towards minors. Someone who shouldn't be around minors online. Someone who shouldn't have the platform that they have. Someone who shouldn't be on the internet. You can't call someone a pedophile because they make a sexual joke towards a minor. You call someone a pedophile if they have an over-attraction to minors and are almost like an imminent danger to them.
Over-attraction.
What do you say?
An over-attraction?
Overt. Words. Overt.
Like kind of attracted.
Overt. Like overt.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I've never actually learned that word. I am 18 and I'm in high school, but I only have the fourth grade reading level. So I don't know the word overt. I suppose that could happen.
I apologize.
No, it's all good. That's my accent.
Not your accent, dude.
I don't understand accents too well. I mean, again, I can see the line
I don't understand accents too. What the fuck does that mean?
of reasoning. So that's why with Phibz, I'm not saying that you're a pedophile defender. I don't think you support pedophiles.
What if I say
but I
that
do
this
think
guy's
you're
head?
not. I can see it in the right way.
Oh.
But back to what was I talking about? Yeah, the stream.
Oh, it's not working.
I don't know if you obviously you did. I do believe you made a lot of narcissistic comments in the stream.
Oh, narcissistic, dude. It doesn't stop at pedophile, groomer, or predator. Now narcissistic. It's a narcissist would say that.
And that really distracted from Pooh Boy's points. So my main example is especially at the end. He had a whole segment where he was talking about how female predators are not taken as seriously in society.
Whoa.
Would you agree?
Maybe.
I'd say yeah. That's probably an issue that should be talked about.
That is true, because remember, Ghislaine Maxwell was part of the rape scheme, and Trump was like, I hope she does well in court. Remember that? So that's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when he did, you were yelling the whole time about how you don't see that way, and you also didn't call Nova a pedophile, which is a whole other can of worms.
It's not a can of worms if you don't understand it. I don't even know what the fuck's going on with that, but like saying I don't have a strong position on something because I haven't looked into it is not a can of worms. That's how you should interact. Maybe Nova's a pedophile. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have enough information. I'm not just going to trust you. You're untrustworthy. Why would I trust you? You don't know how. You don't understand the basic topics.
Which completely just blew past this point. What? And then when he wanted to use a personal experience to accentuate the point,
wow,
you said it was shitty of him for him to do, which I felt was a very inappropriate and rude comment to say to someone who.
Wow, that's so sad. You guys are falsely labeling people predators and pedophiles. I don't care.
Experienced such personal things and talked about it. Your chat wasn't much better.
I'm not.
The chat wasn't much better. Fuck, dude.
I'm not dismissing his.
Did this guy pay you to watch the video for him? This poo boy guy?
Trauma. That's me saying that I disagree with attributing what happened to you at a young age, or the Invincible character, which was so obviously pedophilia and like.
The Invincible character. What the fuck are we talking about?
So obviously pedophilia to equate and I guess compare that behavior to Phibz, who was nowhere near that level. I thought that was a shitty thing to do.
But the central point he was making was about female predators not being taken seriously. Because
okay, but she's not a female predator, so there's nothing to really listen to here.
Would you say that if Nova did the things Phibz did, more people would call him a pedophile then?
You literally, I hope you just say I can't answer that question. I don't know anything about Nova.
Phibz.
What?
Probably.
I don't know what Nova's done in any deep capacity. Okay, if Nova has a history of actually being a pedophile and they did all the things Phibz did, then that would be considered pedophilic behavior because there's a history and a high intention or high likeliness of intention that they would be doing that so they could predatorize a minor. But we don't have any of those things.
Well, maybe.
And that was the point he was trying to argue.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. I'm not saying it was shitty of him to argue that female predators aren't taken as seriously. I just said it was shitty to attribute.
It's irrelevant in this case. That's what it is because she's not a predator. That's what it's so it's irrelevant. You have to establish she's a predator before saying, "Hey, it's the people will downplay the acts of female predators." That's the argument. So your argument doesn't matter because Phibz isn't a predator. It's not downplaying their actions.
I said it was shitty to attribute that to Phibz.
He was attributing himself to that point, which he was attributing to Phibz. But in the video, you said it was shitty to. Again, I understand where you're coming from.
You compared Phibz to Anissa? What do you mean?
But that's just one of the comments I didn't disagree with.
Also, by the way, real quick, in regards to my chat not being great about it, there was maybe 2 messages in chat dismissing the story or whatever. But like every audience has, I guarantee you can put a timer on for 1 minute. I guarantee you, as a black man online, I know what it's like. I can go on his video on me, and if I go sort by newest within,
I like that. Use that. You got to use that card. You got to fucking show him who's boss.
A minute, I'll definitely find a comment of someone calling me a slur. Like a racist.
Well, comments are a big difference from live chat, and
what, dude? We just did the most. I just literally got fucking mentally molested by that fucking statement. Hey, you're telling me that this guy named Poo Boy was talking about his like sexual trauma and trying to use it to falsely accuse Phibz of being a sexual predator, and some people in your chat were being dismissive of that. And then he turns around and says, "Well, your chat, like people in your comments are calling me the fucking N-word." So, well, these are different. Comments in a live stream are so different from a comment on a fucking YouTube video. It's just they're not even close to comparable. Okay, great. Like your brain is poop. You have poopy in your brain. There's actual shit in your brain. Like that's insane. What the fuck? That's insane that you just said that, you know?
It's members of the audience. Like the point is that some members of the audience aren't indicative of what you genuinely believe as a creator.
No, of course. I'm not saying that
you are saying that. What?
Reflection on you. But I mean, I just brought it.
You literally are saying it's a reflection on him.
Because it's something I didn't feel great about. I wasn't trying to attribute it to you.
That's why you brought it up. Oh my god, dude, this guy thinks that we're as dumb as him. Holy fuck.
You were say it reflects on you. So I'm sorry if I came off that way.
Okay, no, all good.
There's no other reason for you to bring it up other than to make that point. That's why. What? Okay.
Yeah, and another thing was, especially with who made a comment, and I'm just gonna preface this. I think he really didn't handle. Well, the video was all right, but I think I would have changed quite a few things. I would have reworded some things, and I wouldn't have made certain comments. He said you were a performative male, to which you responded that it's because you support women and you don't think it's gay to wash your ass.
Yes.
And then later...
I'm sorry, that is funny, dude. That's funny. That's funny because it's just so true, dude. It's so true, dude. Fucking these guys probably don't wash their fucking ass correctly. This is I'm not like making an assumption. I'm just telling you. I'm stating a fact. Okay, just so that you're. They definitely don't wash their ass correctly. Okay, that's fucking true. Yeah, okay, I didn't even start exfoliating until I was like fucking 30 years old, man. It's just crazy. It's true. It's funny. That's a funny statement. That's very funny.
Later,
this sucks ass.
You said that it was because you're a feminist who like is sleazy with women or something like that. I don't remember the exact verbiage. It's something graphic along those lines.
Well, I'm not
in a
saying
very
that's
serious tone. He said
I think the way well, that's a lot of the time. That's what a lot of the time. That's what's being implied when you call someone a performative male. Is that they're performing their.
Oh my god, dude! How do you know that? That's when somebody calls somebody a performative male. That's what they're saying. They're saying that they are virtue signaling for female attention so they can get pussy. That's what you're saying.
Well, because that's just what the implication is a lot of the time when you call
God, this isn't even like it's a joke. He's literally joking.
Someone a performative male.
That you
well,
think it's gay to wipe your ass?
No. That
dude, can't handle jokes. We're fucking brain warped.
It was obviously a joke or an over-exaggeration. Performative male, so like...
it's a joke. That over-exaggeration is the joke.
Hyperbole, sure. Exaggeration, hyperbole, the same word, but...
This guy learned a new word in his 4th grade English class. What the fuck?
Male.
This is funny.
That you
well,
think it's gay to wipe your ass?
No. That bit was obviously a joke or an over-exaggeration. Performative male, so
hyperbole.
Like... Hyperbole, sure. Exaggeration, hyperbole, the same word, but...
That's just my fucking favorite part. He tried to, dude. That's what happens when you try to correct someone's language like that. You're saying that to be you're saying it to be condescending, and now you just look dumb because you don't even understand what the word means. Like, don't do that. Like, that's what you have to stop ulting, dude.
To call someone a performative male.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. No, you didn't. You were trying to be snarkish at him, and it just didn't work out for you.
Well, there's an implication there there's a potential implication there that the only reason they are performing their support for feminism is to get closer to women, and that's like a sleazy thing to do. So I was bringing that up as like a potential reason for me being called performative male, especially because he said that my audience had like romantic infatuation with me. So when you put those two things together, it's not an outrageous conclusion for me to come to.
No, but you said the same thing an hour later, and I see your point.
Oh, he said the same thing again? Wow. What was his argument supposed to change? What?
Point. But it's mainly just how you conducted yourself, especially with the times.
This guy, dude. What did I tell you? These people. This guy is a literal fucking SJW. This guy is a fucking like a little fucking edgy SJW boy. The conservatives are becoming SJWs. They're literally just becoming SJWs. Well, you made a joke. It's not very nice. That's what you're doing right now. It's insane. Holy fuck.
You lost your cool and yelled at him, saying he doesn't do basic research.
Right, because he falsely accused Phibz of being a pedophile defender.
He did do that. You also said I don't.
What? Okay.
Which I never outright. I repeated what she said. She said she defended someone who was involved with child pornography.
Okay, but why didn't you look into the core of the allegation? Why didn't you do that? So you're so confused about that.
It was very much implied, and it would have been very much preferred if you brought up what the actual CP was. Your video led JiDion to believe that she was genuinely defending pedophilia. So clearly you didn't do a good enough job qualifying what actually happened.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I played the video. If one comes,
it doesn't matter. You didn't look up the allegation. You didn't go, why are they saying this? Like, what's going on there? Like, what's the context here? I'm the content creator. I should probably try to find this. Fuck. No, we didn't do that. We didn't look for it.
To a conclusion like that, I didn't intend for that conclusion to come, but that's kind of why you do your own research before making statements.
If that's the conclusion that most people came to.
So, dude, oh my god, that was so funny. Sorry, I'm pretty sure that what he's saying is like, because Dankyjabo is like, oh, well, JiDion was misinformed because of your video made this claim, and he's like, well, that's why you do your own research before you make statements. Oh, wow. No, that's the point. You didn't do your own research. You didn't look into what the CSAM allegation was, which was it was fucking a Naruto it was like a Naruto hentai. It wasn't even CSAM.
After watching your video, it's not an issue with most people, it's an issue with your video.
I understand how one can think that way, but again, I
understand how one can think that way.
I was just saying what she said. If someone can't do basic research, then that's not on me.
Wait, but
you're the one that doesn't do the
but you're the one who didn't do the basic research.
Okay. I did. I showed the screenshot, the video.
So then if you're saying that the basic research is showing the video that of what she said, the screenshot of what she said, and then he's saying, hey, JiDion got it wrong because of you, and you say, well, JiDion should have done more research, should have done basic research, aren't you're saying by extension you didn't do basic research? Okay.
In my video, in regards to the Naruto thing.
Oh
but
my god.
That was just one screenshot. How could I attribute it to an entire person? And which again, she told me he did other weird things that caused her to block him.
Yeah, but
it's not like this just
other weird things isn't watching I'm focused on the watching CSAM bit, on the being a fan of CSAM part, which was not qualified correctly in the videos.
I understand, and I see that point, and I do not, disagree with it.
Okay.
You should be saying I fucked up on that one, but he can't take an L. You can't be like, yeah, dude, I actually fucked up pretty bad on that one. My bad. Just say that. Just say you fucked up. Just move on.
But my main point.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Like, we don't need to talk. I'm happy to move on from the see something if you want.
I mean, is there anything else you didn't want to talk? I mean, maybe about the Lolcow niche. I know you have some thoughts about that.
Yeah, I just
Where does this take?
Thing is, I think that people who focus solely on Lolcows, with no indication or acknowledgement or understanding of how they get to the point that they get to, I think is very unproductive, and I think it feeds into the very culture that creates said Lolcows and puts a lot of potential victims in danger.
Yeah, 1000%.
So, would it be wrong to talk about a person's actions instead of how they did it or what it came to?
You can talk about Lolcows, that's totally fine, but to have no sympathy for the situation that may have brought them, or empathy, I think.
It's not even about the sympathy or empathy that brought them to a situation. We're not there. We're not at a situation where like, hey, this guy, what the fuck? We're not at a situation where it's like, hey, this guy was reporting on a Lolcow, and he wasn't very sympathetic to what happened, and he's not getting into like a deep historical conversation about the way that like the reason why they got where they were. That's not what's happening here. This person is lying and sensationalizing the allegations for money. That's what's happening. So I agree, people should try to interact like that, but that's not even where we're at right now. We're not even there. We're not even there because this guy is literally he just for money. These people will lie and sensationalize for money. That's like their entire thing.
For the situation that may have led them to the position that they are currently in, doing the horrible things that they are doing, I think that is harmful if your entire channel is predicated upon talking about Lolcows. So I mentioned Chris Chan earlier, that's a great example. Chris Chan is undoubtedly a diabolical human being who sexually assaulted their own mother. But it's also very important to acknowledge the decades worth of relentless bullying, of struggles with autism, of the failure from every adult in his life from birth, essentially, that led him to that point. And I feel as though that level of empathy, that level of understanding for neurodivergent people or disabled people is unseen in a lot of these Lolcow channels. Like if you click on a Nova Online video that you made,
I think it's worse when they like actively support the harassment of different Lolcows for attention. Like that's much worse when they do shit like that, because that's something that they'll do, is that they'll like actively be part of like the harassment campaign.
It's very probable that 20% of it will just be calling him fat and ugly and unkept and taking the piss out of him, and I don't think that's appropriate.
So I have a question. So like let's say like a predator we catch, right, is on the spectrum, whatever. Would you say that predator catchers also have to go with it with that through that lens?
Well, I think if someone was on the spectrum, I've watched predator catcher videos where the predator was clearly on the spectrum before, and as much as I feel sorry for said predators, it does not take away from how disgusting the action was. So as much as I feel sorry for Chris Chan because every adult failed them in their lives, obviously what they did is still worthy of jail time. I'm not going to complain about...
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're saying that like the Lolcow channels need to point out these different things. Like you're saying that it's essential for them to point out. I'm just saying, do you hold pred catchers to that same regard where they need to hold like point out those things? So like for me, example, do I need to point out those things?
I think it would be nice if you pointed out those things. Just because you have a large platform and it'd be good to educate people on what leads predators to do what they do. Because I'm sure you agree, if we can find the root of a problem, if we can find what creates predators, that's how we stop them. That's how we stop them from becoming a thing. Prevention's always better than cure.
I would say that there's probably going to be a difference between people who catch predators and work with the police versus somebody who does sensationalized dog shit coverage. Right now, I don't know if part of it's like, oh, we show up and we identify that they have autism. I would say that you probably shouldn't fucking bully the person at that point. You should probably be like, all right, I don't really know how crazy the predator catchers are. I don't know if they're like seeing somebody do something and they're like fucking, they're just like, oh, what a fucking more. And they start smacking them in the face. I don't know if just JiDion smacked them in the face or something. You know what I mean? Like I guess that would be a question. You should probably hold back on some of the way that you might interact if you identify something like that, I suppose. But in general, there's going to be a difference because just based on those circumstances, if that makes sense.
You see, I mean, that's the thing, I don't think there's any, because I catch a lot of guys who have told me like, oh, I was molested as a kid, da-da-da-da-da. And then I've caught people where, like we got this 19-year-old dude who's in federal jail now and going to be locked up by the feds.
Yeah.
He was molesting his own sister when she was 8 years old and he was like 14. And she had cerebral palsy and stuff like that. I think we asked him if he ever was abused or anything and he says no. And so it's like, I hear what you're saying, but I guess where I would differ is me personally is like, while I'm talking to them, like, yeah, I'm gonna hear where they're coming from, like, this and that. But like a lot of these dudes, they're married, they have families and stuff, and it's like I let them tell their story while I'm stalling, waiting for police. But like do I genuinely think it's important for the audience to know, like, oh, this dude was molested when he was a kid. That's why he's doing that. I don't think that's necessary at all. At least,
well,
I know it's different with the Lolcow, but that's why I wanted to make the distinction with the.
It depends. It depends on. I understand what they're saying, but like I said, I mean, I think that there's going to be a difference between like catching a predator, where, I mean, if we're just talking vaguely and we're not even necessarily talking specifically about like actual predators, or excuse me, we're not specifically talking about like somebody with a disability. We're just talking about like lolcow or predators in general. It's a totally different thing than like these lolcows that aren't predators. Like, this guy is falsely accusing somebody of being a predator versus JiDion, who catches predators, the confirmed predators. We're in like a completely different situation. Although actually in this case we're talking about Christian. So it's a little bit different, but that's like a whole entire online documented history of constant like abuse and shit, on top of the fact that like somebody encouraged them to do it. People like to forget about the person who was encouraging Christian to try to talk to their mother or to rape their mother. I forget what her name was, but that shit was fucking horrible, right? So that's going to be like a way of big difference in like somebody that you find online or somebody that you find through like some kind of a chat. And you talk to them, it's going to be a way different situation and circumstance.
Well, I'll qualify. First of all, obviously, because
but again, I don't even think you have to educate people on like the nuances of these things, but you shouldn't be part of a fucking harassment network that sensationalizes this.
A lot of people are going to say this, I can see it coming. I do not think any amount of trauma, any amount of disability excuses doing those fucking horrible things to kids. Like, when you do that, there's no sympathy there. Empathy's different. Understanding how they got to that situation's fine. But you won't ever catch me, like, saying that they don't deserve or jail time's not justified or whatever. Like, these are disgusting people who do need to be stopped and who are dangerous, right?
No, I definitely know you're not. Yeah.
So I'm not saying...
I know you're saying that for the audience.
I'm not saying that you're obligated to have, like, a serious chat with the audience every time about how you need to consider their background or whatever. My argument is that understanding how these people...
Doesn't JiDion work with the police? Jesus Christ. Doesn't JiDion work with the police, though? Like, JiDion works with police officers. So JiDion is trying to do things correctly and have the correct interpretation of these events. Whereas these people aren't. They're not doing any of that. They're just like going online and just like saying the most provocative shit they can for money.
People get to the point where they are is one of the best ways to prevent it from happening in the future. So if people know, if people understand...
For the person or for other people?
Other people. So if more people understood that one of the reasons a lot of autistic people may act inappropriately towards minors is because they're so ostracized from communities of people their own age that a lot of...
I mean, I guess, but that's, again, Phibz isn't like a... I don't think Christian talked to minors. They're kind of like jumping around the place.
Them find solace in talking to young people, and a potential solution to something like that is just to be nicer and more accepting to the neurodivergent people around you. If more people took that approach, then we could prevent a lot of young people from being hurt or traumatized. I'm not saying that it excuses the neurodivergent.
This conversation is like, I don't think it's a generally bad conversation. I don't think it like helps the argument right now. I think that like only because it's too woke. This is a conversation you'd have with like this is it's like you're like right now talking to this Bludspeth guy is like teaching a fucking kid to color in the lines with crayons, and like right now we're having like a deep conversation about like color theory. It's like we're not even there. This conversation doesn't necessarily aid because like we can't even get this kid to color with crayons correctly, right? That makes sense.
Divergent people who happen to engage inappropriately with minors, but I'm saying that it is important to understand why they're doing so that we can prevent it from happening. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm coming from?
I get where you're coming from.
Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm chatting shit?
I don't think you're chatting shit. I think it's definitely can help. But I get comments all the time where like the last video I just posted, the dude was listing off all these different things he has and stuff and all of that. Well, but it's just hard for me to see that point of view when he's trying to meet a 3, 5, and 12-year-old, and then come to find out he has a whole bunch of CP on his stuff, and it's like, I have comments with people saying, I literally have this and this that he's having. I've never once had these thoughts, So it's like, I get what you're saying. What you're saying to me is more like an ideal world, more than reality, if that makes sense.
Of course, but ideals are what you strive for. Like, I think it would be great if more people, if people understood how predators got to that point. I'm not saying feel sad for them. I'm not saying feel sympathy towards predators. And also the predators.
I think it is important to figure out how they got to that point. No, I'm not going to say that at all.
That's all I'm arguing here.
Yeah.
The people you're talking to are trying to use it to like excuse their actions because they're shitting themselves, and that's not something I obviously like. I don't give a fuck about those people. Like fuck them. I'm with you. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not an excuse. They're using it to like excuse their actions because they think, oh, if I have some sort of victim status, maybe that will exonerate me or something. It's like their version of pleading insanity. I'm not criticizing you for going as hard on those people as you are.
I guess are you saying since with Lolcow people it's a different medium where they're just like looking at it from the complete outside where they're not on the inside like me, that they
the Lolcow medium is that these people obsess and harass like Lolcows for money and attention. They sensationalize what's going on. I don't think I've ever seen JiDion sensationalize like any of the things going on. That's the primary difference here.
They should at least point those things out one time in one of their videos. Is that kind of the point you're getting at?
A lot of Lolcow people are very ableist in their coverage of neurodivergent people. So they will directly make fun of aspects or parts of their character that are linked to their neurodivergence. Or
yeah, I don't think this is going to be a strong argument. This is the problem I have with this argument is that, like, so once somebody's like actually deemed a predator by somebody, they are deemed like to be like, you can say whatever you want about them, right? That's the argument here, which is whatever. I don't really care if you make fun of a predator. The problem is that these Lolcow harassment networks, they one, are incorrect about a lot of people being a predator for money, and two, they will try to develop people into predators so that they can farm the content. So they're part of a harassment campaign that causes more problems. That is like that's what they thrive on, right? So they'll be like really involved in like Josh Block or something. Or some kind of a fucking Lolcow, and then go like, look, they're doing horrible things after I've harassed them relentlessly and I've lied about different things that they've done. Haha, look at that. That's the problem, right? So that's where it is. It's that they have the wrong interpretation of if they're predators in the first place, and that creates the problem. That's what needs to be focused on more than I think anything else. Is like and I think that a big part of it is that they try to label them predators so that because they know this. They know that once they label somebody a predator, that they don't deserve any more moral consideration. So they inappropriately label somebody a predator, and they say, well, you don't deserve any more moral consideration. Boom, I win, you're wrong, yada, yada, yada. That's like the entire thing there. That's the problem. I don't really necessarily care that a Lolcow network would have a deep conversation about these things. Right? Does that make sense?
Autism or disabilities. So with Nova Online, I think it is bad to, or Phibz, right? Phibz is an example. I think it is bad to.
I have no idea about like Nova Online in any like meaningful capacity. If there's like tons of allegations, I don't really know the specifics about them.
Make fun of Phibz being bad at English or being overweight or messy or unkept. The same way where I think Nova Online, to take the piss out of Nova Online's hair being greasy or him being unattractive or whatever, I don't think that's appropriate.
I mean, me personally, I don't know if there's anything wrong with Nova.
Neither do I. I'm not.
Nova definitely has autism. I know that. I've heard them talk on like TikTok memes.
He's autistic, yeah.
This guy's made 36 videos on Nova, so he's got all the.
It's actually more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not something to be proud of. That's obsessive.
But I don't know if Nova's a pedophile. I've never said in confidence that he isn't. All I said was that I didn't call him one in my initial video.
All I'll tell you is Nova's definitely not a bad guy. That's all. He is not a bad guy, and Nova, I still want to have that conversation with you, whether it's on Discord or I have to pull up to the crib one day.
You know, I actually just called him before the stream. He picked up.
You really?
See, isn't that weird? I don't know the specifics about Nova, but like how much of these guys are trying to get involved in these things so they can content farm is so strange to me. Not JiDion. JiDion's different because he's trying to do like I want to collect information and I want to expose somebody. Whereas a lot of these other fucking people, they're just looking to involve themselves so that they can do their next reporting and continue the flow. Like they're not actually concerned with like, oh, what if we worked with the police? If Nova actually is a predator threat, they're just like, oh, how can I farm more content out of this?
Yeah, I mean, you can go back and listen to it.
Dang, I texted him, but he ignored my text.
What are you stealing?
I think he'll come around to it. He just needs to realize, you have his best interests at heart, and you just want to find the truth of everything,
One day.
And Nova, I know you're watching. Let's make it happen.
Property of the Nova universe.
On TikTok and YouTube.
Why do you deem it appropriate to insult a lot of the people you talk about on your channel for being overweight or greasy or dirty? If they've done such horrible things, why don't you just talk about the horrible things?
Yeah, why don't you just call the cops on them and like fucking present all your information to them?
I do. That's mainly what I talk about, but yeah, I throw in a cheeky joke every now and again.
He calls them like 15 times after the debate too. That's fucking insane.
Can I like show you a section, for example?
Oh my god, this sucks.
Do you want to like share your screen so I can hear it?
Yeah, sure. I'll here we go. Here's a random video. I'll skip to a point here. I've Control F for ugly, and well and behold, a portion came up. I'll share my screen. There you go. So I'd like to know what you think this adds to the video, if that makes sense.
Back day, hell yeah. These lap plans suck. Dude, it's all arms. You got it, dude. My best advice to you guys, if you're doing lats, let me just give you a little example here. If you really want to hit your lats in a productive way, okay, you want to take it. This is why you don't feel anything when you're doing lats, okay? You need to take the bar. I usually prefer a little bit of a closer grip, and you need to be pulling down like this. You need to be coming down like this and engaging your lats. You're almost mixing a lat pull down with a pullover, right? Do you understand? So you lean back a little bit and you come down, maybe aim for your breast line, and maybe even lower your belly button too. You could get down to your belly button and really engage your lats. All right, doing this pull thing here is like all bicep. You're just kind of farting around. You're not really doing anything. So you know what, Nova, you can molest kids, but you have to get your lats. You have to get your lat pull downs in a better position. Okay. Come on, Nova, dude. What are you doing?
It really makes me angry. It really makes me angry. I don't know why. Seeing this overweight 20-something-year-old internet predator's face, just like, he has such a resting, ugly face. Resting B-word face is what I meant. It's like,
B-word face. If you're gonna call somebody a bitch, just call somebody a bitch. People are such pussies. He has a resting B-word face. I'm surprised you're even saying the word predator. I'm surprised you're not saying he's a P-word. He's a P-word. Oh my god.
When his face is resting, he's just looking at you like with.
Look at these. Look at these fucking rows.
Just, but that's just his face. He's
like, look at these rows. You generally aren't really trying to flare your elbows on a rows, dude. You want to like, this is how you should be. Frankly, you should be pulling in and like tucking in, like pulling. Unless you're doing like a high row for like your, your upper traps and like maybe your rear delts. Then maybe you flare out. What the hell is this, dude? You're pulling like you're taking out the range of motion. What are you doing? What the hell?
It's just that ugly. He keeps his mouth open the entire time. He's getting so big that his head just looks like a big old circle. It looks like one of those comically large Parmesan.
Bro, it's crazy that this predator is apparently trying to look more attractive than you do. What do you do all day? You sit at home and fart? Jack off? What do you jack off to? What the hell? The fuck?
Wheels. That's how.
What the hell? Wow.
How big his head's getting. His chin.
Oh my god, his head's so big.
Is massive. It's hanging.
My thing is, where the fuck does he have the phone?
Down there like an old woman's milkers. Pardon my French. And man, it just makes me angry. I don't know why I had to mention that, but yeah, this dude, his face just, man, it makes me mad.
That definitely seemed like necessary commentary. Class act channel.
Ouch.
We need more of this, please.
We can stop there, to be fair. But you see, hang on, let me change the audio again because I had to change it to the thing real quick. Obviously, you guys couldn't hear, but he was laughing quite hard at that. Do you think that really adds to the video in any meaningful way?
I mean, it's for entertainment.
Whoa, okay, cool.
Do you understand that, having greasy hair or being unkept a lot of the time is a direct result of someone's disabilities?
It can be.
So do you understand how making fun of those things could be deemed ableist? Especially because there's a lot of people with those disabilities who may be watching your videos who also might be messy or unkept because of them.
I've actually gotten a lot of feedback saying that Nova, and looking at Nova and seeing how he lives, help people improve their lives.
Wow, that's so true, dude. I guarantee that's so true. It's probably just like a real true thing that you just said. I've had all the people that are parents that are in my chat messaged me and said watching Nova, this video about Nova, actually changed my life. Changed my fucking life, dude. My whole life has changed. Dude, just stop. Do you believe what you say? Like, what is this? Do you believe anything that you're saying? I need to know.
So I think it's important to point out how he lives.
What the fuck?
So people can see the issues in it.
What's funny? What's funny, JiDion?
I'm laughing because he's laughing. I don't know.
Okay.
I was not expecting that. Like, actually, me making fun of Nova, maybe people want to bet it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's true.
No,
It's not true. You're so full of shit. I'll never get past this game. What are you talking about? This is like the third Castlevania game I played in a row. I'm fucking banging on these games.
That just cracked me up. That was like the last thing I was expecting.
Frankly, JiDion laughing at this was the last thing I expected because he's like, the way he interacts is a little more people pleaser. I'm really not trying to shit on the guy. JiDion does obviously more beneficial to society than me. But it's just like funny because you wouldn't expect him to shit on this guy like that.
That's funny, dude.
Okay, well, look, if you think that, I guess. I don't think this conversation's really going to go anywhere, but yeah, sure. Thanks for. Is there anything else you want to say? I guess.
No, well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me and exchanging our opinions.
I was gonna say I do appreciate you joining call and having the conversation. I suppose.
Yeah, sure. I wish you luck with everything.
Yep, you too, buddy.
All right, you have a good day.
In a bit.
Right.
I am not like.
All right. I'm assuming that's the end of the conversation, or is there more? All right, yeah, I think that's everything in the conversation. Like, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, what else is there? All right, so you check out his stream at the end. Let's see what we got here.
But thank you for the super.
It wouldn't have been appropriate because Katie and Lewis completely backed down and then deleted their apologies because they weren't actually sorry, but whatever.
Hammy Lasherman. People chose to do bad things. I don't care about your past. Exactly. Thank you for the super, Nora. You and JiDion laughing about Nova and raged. It really did, dude. Like, he has no spine. Like, he just needs to man up and, like, get over shit. Whatever, dude. I fucking...
He's so tilted. JiDion has no spine. What the fuck?
Decimated that fucking interview, dude. Like, it was destruction, dude.
Sorry, who's the narcissist here exactly?
What the fuck? Oh, I see what this is.
Oh, definitely not mentally.
Not a chance. No way.
I don't know about you guys, but I definitely won that fucking debate.
Oh.
Dude, there you go. That's how I know that you're like deeply unserious. That's how I know that this kid is deeply unserious, okay? I definitely won that debate. Oh, what debate? Seriously, serious question. What debate are we talking about? Because that wasn't like a debate to me. There was no debate there. It was supposed to be a conversation. Yeah, I actually won that debate. Wow, you sound like a child. It's a fucking conversation. You're debating. This is just cringe.
Dude was way.
I don't think anyone won the debate. It just went nowhere. When it comes to like winning debates like these,
well, I'm sure that those people, all of his fans that have 17 kids, and you know, they won the debate because they got to hear a super intellectual fucking conversation. That's what it is.
When neither opinions change, I guess it's just a matter of like whose audience was more influenced. But I don't think anyone in my audience's mind was changed. I don't think anyone in his audience's mind was changed. So unless something changes via the video, then
what the fuck is
I don't
this?
know. It was just completely pointless.
How about you guys? But I definitely won that fucking debate. Dude was way too emotional.
Actually, he was way too emotional. This game is fucking. What the fuck is happening? I can't even attack.
But multiple logical fallacies.
Oh my dude, I hate people. I hate this kid. I fucking hate debate nerds. This kid is like actually antisocial and gets beat up in school. Holy fuck. There we go.
You guys.
I love the logical, way too emotional logical fallacies argument. Thing is, his entire point about Phibz being a pedophile was based on emotion, though, because there was no logic behind it.
Yeah, based on emotion and money, of course.
There's no evidence that she's attracted to children. The only reason why he thinks that she is because he felt as though the self-harm thing was sexual, and that it indicated some sort of attraction. The only emotional person here was Bludspeth, unfortunately, because that's the only argument he had.
See them multiple times at the beginning where I just left him fucking silent for like 10 seconds. That was great. No.
I think maybe if that happened, it's because what you say is so fucking stupid. It's hard to understand, but okay. All right, we don't need to watch this kid cope. How like upset he is. He's fucking obviously he's like a little brain warped 18-year-old. So incredible stuff.